All right, people, how's everybody doing today? Happy Saturday to everybody. Hope you guys are having a kick-ass Saturday out there today. It's a nice Saturday out here in the high desert, bro. The temperature cooled off. It's nice. James, welcome. Glad to have you, bro. How's it over there in England? Is the weather good? Is it hot? Is it cold? You look like you're a little bit cold over there. What's going on, bro?
Yeah, man, it's fucking up and down. This is the thing. I think I don't know what it is about the English climate, but we get a couple of good days and then we get a week of bad weather. And over the Easter weekend, it's been a bit chilly, it's been a bit moody. We've had a bit of sun, but there's been a nip in the air. And his name's not Wing Ping. It's been a bit of a nip, like nip as in cold. And it's been, we just can't get a break. You know what I mean? I don't think spring's properly sprung yet. I've not got the shorts out. I've not got the shades. I'm not wearing shades so much anymore because, like, Karmik is the indoor shades guy.
Yes.
And it's suddenly become very uncool because he does the reverse. So right, I wear the shades inside and outside, or for the streams and when I go out. But he doesn't wear shades outside for some reason. He's an inside shades guy. I guess he's just too cool for school. I guess I don't know.
No, you're 100% right, bro. But hey, I like the shades on you. You look good in the shades. I think everybody in the chat will agree with that. Are you going to be running anytime soon? I know you like to go out and get a couple kilometer run on, and for us here in America, that's a little bit less than a mile. Are you going to be out jogging soon? Is it spring?
Yeah, I've got to get the tech sorted. So I got to get another SD card, and then I got to put it in my like Mickey Mouse GoPro, and then I got to set it up and then get running. You know what I'm like with tech? It always takes me something that takes about 2 hours takes me about 2 months. So you know, summer will probably be over by the time I get a decent running.
Right. No, it'll be fun. Look at you. You're becoming a whole full-blown techie, bro. You're making it happen. You're all growing right out in here in front of us. I'm excited about that. Let me jump in the chat real quick. We got Darren out in the chat. Let's fucking go. He says, James' audio is mid. Bro, James' audio is great. D-Wag's just a little bit jealous out there. Who else we got out there? We got Darren. He says, bow. We got Mr. Cheeky. Let's fucking go. DJ John. That's Miami John to us. Shout out to you, bro. Hope you're having a great Saturday out there cruising around with all your Hitman contracts. Let's fucking go. We got Pat, CISO, SoCal. Shout out to you. Always great to see you. Monk Fruit. Shout out to you. He says, was Dick really throwing shade at this, the campaign? Can't tell with this dude. I don't know. Maybe he was. I know that he's doing the Dick show today. I think he's going to do it in about 15 minutes. Moved it up to Saturday. Probably because of Easter. You know, we were just talking about that yesterday, the big Easter thing coming out. We're all excited about that. Are you guys excited about Easter? You guys going to do anything tomorrow, chat in Easter? I know, James, you said you're going to do the lamb. I saw you were posting pictures of that. Let me see if I can't find those pictures. They look pretty fucking good. Not going to lie. How's that going? Are you enjoying the lamb, James?
Yeah, we're going to get that sorted. We're going to have that tomorrow as a fam. It's going to be good. You know, we're going to have all the trimmings as usual. It's going to be like a roast dinner on turbocharge. Yeah, I'm not really a big Easter egg guy. I know a lot of people are really into their chocolate and into their Easter eggs. That's not really my thing. I'm more of a sweet guy, so I'll probably have some sweets, you know, like and just like chill and have a good day. I was waiting for the King's message, but I hear that King Charles isn't doing a message this year.
He's not going to do a message.
He's all tuckered out and he's all puffed out from doing Ramadan and his Eid Mubarak message. So there's no love for Christians this year.
Yeah, 100%. Here, let me go ahead. I got your leg of lamb pulled up. Is that, yeah, that's what you got going on right there. That looks really good. I'm just gonna flash it up on the look at that, everybody. We got James's leg of lamb. I'm blowing it up right now. Wow, you got that seasoning going right there, a little rosemary on there.
Yeah, you get a rosemary, put it in there. Usually people put sprigs, don't they? They get the
Yeah.
sprigs in there, but I just done a little sprinkling
Oh
on
yeah,
top.
bro, that's gonna be so good, bro. You're gonna have such a good lamb tomorrow. What's everybody in the chat cooking? Are you guys cooking right now? I know I get excited about it. I was thinking about going out for sushi. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Tomorrow for Easter, because I used to do the big time Easters. The whole family did the Easter egg hunt and all that kind of stuff with when I was a kid, and then with the nephews and all that. But all my family is kind of scattered. I got my brother out in Florida. I got up my extended family's in Kentucky, and I'm way out here in California. So hey, it's not as fun when you have to make the Easter eggs and hunt them at the same time. You know what I'm saying, James?
We're clinging on to a tradition by our fingertips, aren't we? It's a fucking everyone. Everyone's all scattered all over the place. You know what I mean? And it kind of like it's like Christmas, isn't it? Kind of like the older you get, it loses its luster. You
How
know what I
sad
mean?
is
But
that? Yeah, that's sad.
yeah, I know. It's like fuck.
That's kind of why I think you got to have kids, or else you kind of lose touch with all that stuff because you get the opportunity to relive all of these holidays through the children's eyes, and it kind of reignites that in your heart a little bit. So I would definitely love to have a bigger part of that in my life, for Christmas and Easter and Thanksgiving. Oh, especially Thanksgiving, bro. You need a kids table. James, did they ever sit you at the kids table when you had a big Thanksgiving? Did you guys have that?
Oh, they still sit me at the kids' table. Permanent place. I'll always be a kid. It's a bit like what was that thing? You know the movie Drive and
Yes.
Ron Perlman's character, and he goes about it because he's a Jewish gangster, isn't he? And he goes on about the Italian gangsters. He goes to the other guy. Look, they still grab my cheeks like I'm a kid. They talk to me. I'm 60 years old, Bernie. They talk to me like I'm a fucking child.
Yeah.
That's what it's like in my family. You will always be the kid. You can never catch people up. You can never catch up the older generation who are in their 90s, their 80s, their 70s. Your opinion will never matter. They're seniority. They're always in charge. Their opinion holds weight. And if you go against them, Jesus Christ, it's worse than these comic book guys. It's an absolute shit show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like blood on the dance floor. They're ready to get the knives and start cutting people up.
No, facts. And you know what? The thing is, you always want to be somebody's kid, don't you, James? I mean, you
Yeah.
always want to have that, it feels nice. And until the very end, when you're the great grandparent and there's nobody else above you, and then everybody else is below you and you give that love out. But until that time, you still want that. You still want to be somebody's kid. You still want to be loved. You still want that when you go to the holiday, like we got Big B Trucker, shout out to you. He says he's got a big family dinner tomorrow. You still want to have that.
Nice.
You still want to have that.
Yeah.
We
You
got
want to have a close relationship with your family, top to bottom, bottom to top. You want to feel like you're part of something. There's nothing worse when I always think it's really sad. You see, like at Christmas, they always talk about the older generation who are on their own. You know what I mean? Because they never had a family, or they've fallen out with their family and they're estranged, and they're living in like almost poverty circumstance. And it's like, oh, can you spare 20, 30 pounds to give them a Christmas dinner? You know what I mean? Or kids that are in care whose family are abandoned them or abused them. You know what I mean? You always feel like it always kind of takes the gloss off of the holidays. You know what I mean? Because there's people that are out there through no fault of their own that are really struggling. And it's like it's a depressing thing to think about. And that's all we get. I was watching the news today, right? And I was talking to my parents, and I was like, it was a local news, and it was like every story was a horror story. And I was like going, I swear to God, doesn't Sadiq Khan say that it's never been better? It's never been better to live in London. It's never been better to live in England. Multiculturalism is our strength. We're going to go back into Europe. The world's our oyster. And yet every day there's like murder. There's brutality, there's wars, there's fucking famine. There's people that are having to choose between heating and eating in this country at Easter. I mean,
Oh
it's
man,
a
yeah.
fucking disgrace. It's like we're going backwards, and this
Yeah.
is England. This is England in 2026. You would think it was something out of a Charles Dickens novel.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. In fact, you just reminded me of I just recently watched a video of a guy named Spanian, and he's from Australia. I like Spanian. He travels all over the world, and he went to Brussels. And for those who don't know, Brussels is the capital of the EU. And in Brussels, which is in Belgium, He went around the city and he heard that that was the worst city in the EU, and it is. And he walked around the city. I'll pull it up a little bit later and show you guys what the video is, so you can go watch it. But it was so bad that he encountered a man injecting heroin into his penis. It was that bad. And they have outdoor urinals, like just out for everybody to use. And he was walking around. The whole place was filled with rubbish. That's what he calls trash, rubbish. We call it trash in America. I don't know what you guys call it in England.
Garbage, rubbish.
But it's a horror story, and that's exactly what you're speaking about, James. A complete horror story. And you know,
Well, I was flicking through TikTok. Right, and there was like in the piazza. So they're going around the piazza. You got all these tourists, coming over to see Italy in all its glory, to see Rome, to see the steps, to see the Trevi Fountain. To see the Vatican, right? And you've just got crazed, drugged out Africans in the street in like what
yes,
pants or boxer shorts, jerking themselves off in front of the
it's
public.
true.
They're masturbating in public, right? They see a woman, right, and they jump on her. You
Yeah,
would think it's almost animalistic. They see a beautiful Italian woman, or even not a beautiful Italian woman, just a woman. It doesn't matter about the age. They will just accost them. They will harass them. They will jump on them, and no one will do anything.
yeah,
The citizens are so scared of the repercussions, they won't do anything.
yeah,
And what do you think that does for tourism in Europe? That's why no one in your country wants to go to Europe anymore,
yeah.
because it's just a mess. It's not the Europe of old.
No, you're 100% right, and I'll pull up that video in a second. But you really want to be cohesive. You want to help your own people. You want to help the people around you. And right now, there is some people that need a little bit of help. And I wanted to bring up this real quick. He sent me this today. This is Connor's. He's fighting against colon cancer. It's a GoFundMe for Connor. For those of you who don't know, he's Culture Vulture on X. He's a really good guy. He's trying to fight against colon cancer. He's already had the surgery. Here's his GoFundMe right here. Support Connor's fight against colon cancer. I'll try to drop this link in the chat. Let me copy it real quick and then come over to the chat and drop it in here. Let me see right here. Drop it in there. Did that work? Maybe I'll have to go to the regular YouTube chat live stream and drop it in there. All right.
I should repost that. I think I just liked it. I should definitely repost that.
Did I do that? Did that go? Send it. Send it. I don't know. Did it go in there? I'll try to put the link. The link should be able to be dropped in. Oh, I'm limited by 47 characters. Okay. But I'll put the link in the description to this video right here. DWAG, if you could drop that link in there. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe I don't know how to do it properly, but I'll go and I'll put it in the description for the live stream. But his name's Connor, and his name is on X is Culture Vulture, and he's having a hard time right now. He just had a colon cancer surgery. He's been on his ass, not his colon anymore. I think he got some of that removed. He got a little colostomy bag and all that kind of stuff, and so he just kind of needs that. Oh, here, let me copy the link right there. Maybe that link will be better than the one that I tried to drop earlier. Let me try to drop that in there. Give me a second, guys. Sorry about that. There we go. Yeah, okay, there it is right there. I just dropped it in there. There's the link in there. I just dropped it in the chat, guys. Check that out. Share it out. You can also, let me pull up his Culture Vulture on X. He's a good guy. He's one of the homies. Where is it? Culture Vulture. Of course, you know that when I'm trying to bring all this up, okay, there it is right there. When I'm trying to bring all this up, here we go, right here. He's Platoon Ghost on X. Let me pull that over here and give it a show. This is him. He does Culture Vulture Radio. Go help him out. He needs the help right now, and he's one of the good guys, one of the homies. So if you could, for this Easter, throw him a couple bucks. Okay, I'm gonna throw him a couple bucks after I get off the stream right here, and we're gonna make that happen. But all right, back to what we were talking about. So we hope you get better, Connor. All right, we're pulling for you, bro. All right. Let me jump in the chat real quick. We got Big B Trucker. He says, "Fuck cancer." I dropped the GoFundMe. He said, "King Yeti says, I love Connie, man. Yeah, Connor's a great guy. Shout out to you, King Yeti. Good to see you, buddy." Darren says he sent some money. Shout out to you, DWAG, for sending Connor some money. Who else we got on there? Wonders Field Guide who says, "Why not?" Darren says, "Why would you shoot your dong with heroin?" I don't know, man. Let me pull up that Spanion so you guys can see that real quick, that YouTube. But James, go talk for a second. Why would you shoot up your dick with heroin?
Don't know, man. He's probably like run out of space, isn't he? You know what I mean? He's probably done. He's probably full of tracks, isn't he? He's probably just trying to find a spot, and the last spot, mate, is his knob. Unless he wants to, like, he thinks it's going to improve his performance in the bedroom. You know what I mean? Some super drugged up penis. You know, maybe he's been watching too many of these, reading too many of these comic books or watching too many cartoons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I sent a link to you today. I've just got into this one, right? I thought AI was shit, right? I thought AI was like, you know, I weren't really into it. But they're doing a Postman Pat Bob the Builder one now, and they're talking like me, but in a really posh accent. So they're going, "Yo, G, hey, blood, you know, we got to do the thing, you know, the drugs, the bags." And I was like, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me. We got to like watch one of those videos. Postman Pat and Bob the Builder running drugs. It's like the best thing I've ever seen. It's fucking AI, mate.
We'll have to pull yeah, that sounds funny.
Yeah, I'll put it in. I think I put it in the bruv chat, and it's like Bob the Builder and Postman Pat. You know, it's like he's like, and he goes, "I had to handle you, G, because you wrote nods on my van." It's like,
all right, well, let me pull up this video.
It's so fucking funny, man. It's hilarious.
This is the video. This is Spanion, and I'm just going to keep the audio off for a second. But this is the kind of shit that's going on in the capital of the EU, where they're trying to make immigrants, you know, the mainstay. They're completely taking over all of Europe. James can attest to this in England. And this is Spanion. He's a good guy from Australia. He goes all over the world. He does food. He does all kinds of fun stuff, and he's kind of a funny guy. But he talks about what's going on in the EU, and the reason why this is significant is because this is Brussels, which is the capital of the European Union. That is very interesting. And let's see here. Let's see if I can't copy and put that in the chat. If anybody's interested, I found this a very good video. I thought it was very interesting. I'll drop that in the chat for you guys. And if you guys want to go watch that later, you can watch that later. But you know, it talks about like a lot, like what we were talking about, James, about how, you know, why is Easter not important anymore? Why is Christmas not important anymore? Well, because our demographics are changing, and this is the source of how it's being changed. You're seeing it right now in England, aren't you, James? You're watching that happen.
Yeah, well, we were rule takers, and then Brexit came along, and then we became rule makers. But consecutive governments, so take a Conservative government is a centre-right government. Now, Labour is kind of like a centre-left government, but they always get pulled to the far left. And Keir Starmer was a human rights lawyer. He's the Prime Minister of the country, and he wants a closer ties, closer union back with the EU. So what you have to do in order to do that, Brussels is the centre, like you said, and you have to sign up, reintegrate, pay a lot of money, way more money than it took to extricate you, because it's like the mafia. You have to pay to become a member. You don't get a free lunch, you know, you don't get a free dinner, and then you're going to be a rule taker once again. So England will be rule takers like every other country that's in the EU, and you have to pay to be in this club. And right now we've got a terrible problem with illegal migration. It's coming up, we're currently in spring, but when summer comes along, we'll have all the boats, and it'll be 1,000 people a day, maybe more, pulling up to Kent, coming into our country, coming into our economy, coming into our hotels, you know, kind of like we're amassing more and more people. You know, we can't have it. We're an aging country. We're a crumbling country. You know, our economy's on the floor. Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth are right to point out that our military's in the toilet, our navy's in the toilet, and yet we continue to take more immigrants. And now, because of our reintegration into the EU, that's going to be made easier and more accessible, and we're going to have to pay more money for the privilege. I can't explain to you how it's a silly word, but how demonic Brussels is. It literally hates everything about individual countries. It hates individuality. It hates nationality. It hates the language. It hates the culture. It hates your flag. It hates your national anthem. It hates monarchy. It hates any form of institution. All it seems to be about is a project to flood the EU with illegal migrants, and then maybe have a United States of Europe, a European army, and just basically make it open borders throughout the country. Maybe they were even talking about getting rid of English as like the universal language of
Yeah.
Europe. They were trying to push German. They were trying to push French. You know, it's like it's a weird. I don't really want to go to Europe anymore. I have no hankering to go and see. Maybe I want to go to Spain, like Barcelona, when they finally finish the Sagrada Familia. I would love to go and see that church, but I'm probably going to be dead by the time they finish it because they're slow rolling it, man. They've been doing it for fucking years, haven't they?
Yeah.
I'm probably not gonna. I'm probably not. I'm not probably not going to get to see the finished article.
Yeah.
But that's the one thing I want to see. I have no inclination to go back to Italy. Maybe where my parents, where my family come from, you know, Santa Lia Fiume Rapido in Frosinone. Maybe I'd like to go there, but other than that, I don't really care for Europe anymore. I think it's a dying continent.
Yeah, no, it is being restructured. That's 100% the truth, and it's being restructured. Like they want to make the 7 world zones now. They want to make it a multipolar world order. They want to make 7 zones. They want to make Europe, the EU, one of these zones. And there's a reason why they want to do this, people. There's a reason. Okay, this is not without a plan. They're devising a plan. They saw how the United States was. The United States has the biggest economy in the world. And the reason it has the biggest economy in the world is because it has the biggest landmass without bureaucracy. Okay, consider that for a moment. The biggest landmass without bureaucracy. You're saying, Ray, what the hell are you talking about? Well, let me explain a little bit, okay? If I want to start a business here in California, I can sell to the entire nation of America, which is the size of Europe, basically, without going from one border to another border, meaning I don't have to cross countries, okay? In Europe, you have to cross countries from every country. You have to cross a border. Every time you cross a border, you have to pay import, you have to pay export, you have to pay other kind of fees. So think about that. If I'm selling to the 50 states of America and I don't have to pay any kind of tax or duty to do that, I have a tremendous advantage over just the people in Europe because the bureaucracy of the duties, the taxes, the import fees, you know, any kind of special regulations that they have is going to hinder that market from being as powerful and as economically viable as the market in America. So I believe that's what they're trying to do, James. They're trying to create that like a mirror of the United States to compete, maybe not necessarily to compete, but to exact that amount of financial strength throughout Europe. Because right now, like I said, Europe is whittled away by bureaucracy and by fees, by duties, by taxes. If you wanted to sell a product, okay, so that's why they're doing this. That's why they want to make the EU, because in the future they want to create a world with 7 zones. You know, North America is going to be one zone. That's why Trump wants Greenland. That's why he like changed it from the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. You know, pretty soon he wants to absorb Mexico. Believe it or not, he's going to want to absorb Mexico into this bigger, greater, zone, the North American zone. And then, of course, there's a
the European Union is so corrupt.
Yes.
It's so bureaucratic. There's so much red tape. One of the things that made me laugh, right, and people always call you a little Englander or a flag shagger, right? But for 300 years, right, we've known it's called marmalade, right? We have marmalade on our toast. We have marmalade in our sandwiches, like Paddington Bear. It's fucking marmalade. Sure, you know what I mean? It always has been, right? But now, because we're re-entering the EU, and because of the EU bureaucracy, the EU red tape, the way they're so supercilious, we've got to now call it, after 300 years, we've got to call it citrus marmalade. Now, I know to some people that's going to be really amusing, you know, and say, why do you care, James? Why do you care? Because I do care, because it's irritating. You know what I mean? It's like The rule should be, it's been marmalade for 300 years. We were in control of that rule. But now, because we're signing over all our powers to Brussels and the European Union, they can just go with a stroke of a pen. You've got to rename it and rebrand it citrus marmalade. So if they do something that small, they care about something that small, what are they going to do for the medium problems and the big problems? They are just going to swallow this country whole, and we're going to be what you and I would call a vassal state.
Yes.
England will become a vassal state of Europe.
Yeah.
Europe will say jump, and we will say how high.
Yes.
Maybe not because we want to, but we'll have no choice. Whatever they decide in Brussels, they could decide to go to war. They could decide to implement housing prices. They could decide they will have control. If we go, they will have control over our currency. So we won't be able to devalue our own currency because it will be done from Europe.
Yep.
So they will have manipulation over our currency, our army, our food supply, the whole food chain. So you want to sign powers over to Brussels to have control. And all the countries are different. We are what you would consider, like America, a superpower within Europe.
Yep.
But another country that's close to my heart, Italy, is one of the poorest countries in Europe because it's mismanaged. It's the mafia. It's very corrupt. The Catholic Church is also corrupt, flooding the country with illegal migrants through their NGOs. So you have to understand. You can't compare England to, say, a Spanish economy or an Italian economy. We're more in line with a German economy. We're like the two top tier ones. And it's like, even though our growth is slow, we are still a big country in name, maybe in name only, but we are. But you've given all that power to Brussels, which, like you said, is this little Belgium fucking. It shouldn't have that much power and monopoly.
Yeah.
Brussels and Belgium shouldn't have the monopoly over England, Spain, Italy, Greece. I mean, remember what happened with Greece in the financial crisis?
Oh, yeah.
Greece is the most ancient democracy. They say it's the first democracy. It's where you get everything from. It all stems from Greece. Right? And their economy and their country was riven and ruined during that first financial crisis that we had.
Yeah, on purpose.
Absolutely destroyed. Because they were part of the EU, and it was done.
Yeah, you're 100% right. And this is the way that they whittle down your first world lifestyle expectations. You would say England is a first world country. You would start to say Brussels, after seeing that video, is starting to drop from a second world country to a third world country. And the social implications of that mean that it's a lot easier to have the government subsidize everybody's living, their food, and then once you do that, you have complete control. I'm going to jump in the chat real quick, James, and I'm going to see what people are saying. Big B Trucker says, "Fuck cancer." Cut the Grass talking about injecting shit into your penis or your dick. He says it's the main vein. Shout out to you, Cut the Grass. Good to see you. Wondering Field Guy says, "In between your toes is too ticklish." Yeah. I've known of a couple of people that do injections in between their toes. They try to hide the track marks. They don't like that kind of stuff. Big B Trucker says they resort to when they blow out the veins. Yeah. King Yeti says the wrist hits 100%. It happens. Hail to you, Scribe Comics. He says, "What's going on, everybody?" Hail to Scribe. Good to see you, bro. Let's see what. But anyway. So that's what's going on with England. It's important to know what's going on with England. Let me just go ahead and show this. I watch a lot of, I know a lot of people might not like Professor Zhang, or they might like Professor Zhang. He's at Predictive History over here on YouTube. This one in particular on game theory, The Great Reset, is a fantastic watch as far as the video goes. So you guys check that out if you want to. I'll drop that. Now that I'm like good at dropping links in the chat, let me go ahead and just drop this link in the chat. I watch Professor Zhang because I know a lot of people might say, yeah, he's got his supporters and he's got his haters, but he's one of the guys that's telling us the most about what is going on in the world. And so that's why I watch him. I try to watch all kinds of people. I even watch Kurt Metzger. I watch all kinds of different people. Jimmy.
You got to cast a wide net.
Yeah. And then what I do is I see what patterns are echoed from one person to the next, and then the patterns that are echoed, those are the ones that I keep. Those are the ones that I know are true. So if I start to see the pattern recognition across multiple different platforms, I'm like, oh, okay, well, something's going on here. And that's why it's so important for us as Americans to speak to people like James to get an understanding of what's going on in Europe. Because if we can see what's going on in Europe, then we can see the similarities of what's going on in America. We can understand what the plan is moving forward, and then we can position ourselves either out of the way of danger or in the way to, make money or have a windfall or whatever. Because it's all about, like, we going back to Easter, it's all about taking care of your family. It's all about having those holidays where you bring the family together and you guys go on and have another great year. That's what we want to have happen around here. Because we're all about
I
the
think
family.
we're a tired. I think we're a tired and cynical society, aren't we? Anyone who suddenly becomes big overnight, you know what I mean? He's got his followers and people that believe him, lock, stock, and barrel, and then you'll have your fucking detractors, wouldn't you? And people will be cynical about it and say, "Oh yeah, he's propped up by someone else." You know what I mean? It's just I listen to these people. I see what I got to say. I agree with some things. I don't agree with other things. It's just the way we are as humans. It's human nature. You know what I mean?
No, you're 100% right, James. And we have to re-embrace what the actual genuine human nature is. The human nature is, the family. That's what we should re-embrace. And I know that feminism came about and it kind of ran what is that? Ran rickshaw or
Man, rough shot.
yeah, it ran roughshod over the family and kind of destroyed the family and, pushed the family out and about. And, you have to live over here, no more family stay in a small town anymore, or a big town or whatever. And for the vast majority of Americans and maybe English as well, I know Americans for sure, the family has spread out. It's not as important as it once was back in the 50s. And we have to get to a point where the family is important because that's how we're going to survive. Okay, people. When we have the financial crisis that's looming on the horizon, similar to the 2008 financial crisis, and people are even talking about lockdowns that are coming, energy-based lockdowns. There's a whole bunch of people, pundits, talking about this. Trying to telegraph that it's coming. They're trying to give us a little bit of hey, this is coming. They're trying to social engineer that the lockdowns are coming. You really want to re-embrace the family. You want to build those strong relationships, and that's what you want to help you to get through.
Well, Albanese in Australia, didn't he? Albanese, who to me is a detestable figure, Anthony Albanese. I don't know what he stands for, but he's talking about energy rationing. He actually did a speech about it. And this is a guy who spent his entire premiership appeasing to the Muslims and Indians that live in his country, and then he was basically run out of a mosque
oh
because you know
wow,
what I mean. Because like he hasn't been as hard on Israel as perhaps they thought he should have been. And this is what happens. I don't like to talk about people. I don't like to talk about people in like a really horrible way, but if you import third worlders into your country, you bring third world problems.
100% right.
Everything that I've ever known about people that come from anywhere, so take my family, right? When they came from Italy, right? They imported their problems as well. They took all their old feuds, they took all their old hatreds, and they just brought it into England. And this is what people do, wherever they come from, whether they're coming from Islamic countries or they're coming from African countries. They're bringing their backwards culture, right? They're not civilized like Westerners. They're bringing their backwards culture. They're bringing all their feuds. They're bringing all their old ways. They're bringing their traditions. And what happens is in our country, we welcome them with open arms, and we don't say, "Oh, embrace British culture, embrace UK culture, embrace our way of life. You can still have your religion, but we might make it the preeminent religion." When you come to England now, it's like we fall over our feet. We're literally falling over backwards to appease these people. We're saying, yes, we are a Christian country, but we will give your religion absolute precedence. We will show complete deference to your religion, and we will just brush aside anything that annoys you from Christianity. We won't call them Christmas trees anymore. We won't, have Christmas trees in the shops. We won't put up decorations. We won't make a big deal out of Christmas or Easter, the two biggest Christian holidays. We'll brush that aside, but we'll make a massive deal about Diwali. We'll make a massive deal about Ramadan because we want you to feel welcome. But then they don't take it and say, "Oh, thank you. We'll embrace embrace yours. It's like, no, ours is taking precedent, yours is going to be pushed to the side, and our culture is going to hold sway over your culture. So it basically turns our country into their country, and their country was a shithole in the first place. So you know full well what's going to happen. My mum always says this. She says England, the UK, Great Britain is going to become the dustbin of the world, the dustbin of Europe, because everyone wants to come here because of our social benefit system.
Yeah, I've heard your mom say that before. 100%, I agree with that. And the thing that happens as well is that, you know, the funny thing is nobody expects all the people that we import to be more racist than the English or the Americans actually are. The people that are being imported are, you said they bring their problems, they bring their feuds. That's 100% true. They also bring their racism. They are extremely racist against other people of their similar groups, and this is mind blowing. In America, we have hate crimes going all the time from these different Somalians fighting other types of Somalians. We have things like that, things of that nature. They hack them up with a machete and all kinds of
turf
stuff.
wars. You get turf wars on the street in London. You get turf wars.
Yeah,
you get different ethnicities, different races, different religions. Yeah. Because they made their own little section, and they say, like, take Tower Hamlets in England, very Islamic. Take London Road, where my family are from, in Croydon, very Islamic. I always post Say Cheese Media. You should go follow him on YouTube.
I watch
very
Say
good
Cheese,
guy.
Yeah.
Say Cheese Media, and he'll just show you what Croydon's like. Croydon is, look, people are going to hate me for saying this, but Croydon is like a jungle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a jungle out there. It is mad. It is like, literally, if you go out after 6 o'clock, you are putting your life in your own fucking hands, man. Because these people don't fuck about. They've got zombie knives. They've got machetes. They will kill you for a packet of crisps.
What's a zombie
knife?
They
are just like, they're like machetes. Look them up. The zombie knife.
Yeah.
Look at the zombie knife and put it up. They're like machetes. But these people will kill you for a pack of crisps.
Yeah.
They will kill you for nothing. Well, they don't care.
And you know what's so bad about that is, I don't know if you guys are feeling the same way, but a pack of crisps, which is chips for us in America, the shrinkflation is crazy. You only get like 2 or 3 chips in the bag. It's all air. You have to open it and smell the seasoned air, and that's the best you're going to get. You might get 1 or 2 crisps or 1 or 2 chips, and that's it, bro. The shrinkflation is out of control. Let me jump down here in the chat and say what's up to everybody. We got Pat says, yeah, it's their gangs. King Yeti says they hate each other as much as they hate us. You're 100% true, King Yeti. They hate each other as much as they hate us. We are importing gangs that have their own sets that war against each other. It's crazy. He also says assimilation is a must. Schnauzer Max, shout out to you, bro. He says shout out to the bros. Good to see you, man. Yeah, so that's a big deal. There's a lot of things going on, and none of it makes any sense until you take a step back and start to understand that they want to make a number of regions. They want to make 7 regions. They want to make each region be its own economic powerhouse, because as the price of oil increases, you can't have this global supply chain anymore, okay? So then that answers the next question, which is why on earth are they importing all of these immigrants? It's because in the next generation, they're going to use these immigrants who have a very low standard of living to be slave labor. That's what's going to happen. I don't mean exactly slave labor. I mean slave labor as in the terms of Chinese slave labor. Okay? Like when we make an alarm clock that you buy at Walmart, it's made in a Chinese factory where the Chinese guy makes 80 cents a day. Okay? That's nothing. That's what I mean when I say slave labor. So they're going to take these people.
It's got to be poverty living, in it. Everyone's got to be like poverty living on the breadline. You know what I mean? It's like, there's still the thing with the socialism. There's like, you'll have nothing and you'll be grateful for it. You know what I mean? They want everyone like dressing the same, acting the same, looking the same, voting the same, and everyone gets their equal share. And that's not how the worlds and economies work, because you need to strive. The one thing about capitalism is, it's like you are striving, you are out there, you are grafting, you are doing your streams, you are doing your comic books, you are trying to grow, you're trying to take over these people. What would we be like if we just going, we're just coming on here, to waste our time? There's no end goal, there's no end game. We're trying to get somewhere, we're trying to do something, we're trying to crack the market. That's what you want. You need aspiration, you need ambition, you need drive, you need fire in your belly.
Yes,
but they want to take that away from
passion.
They want to take that away from people. Yeah. They're literally making men weak. I mean, all I see on the internet now, right, is men having to apologize for their conduct with women.
Yeah.
I saw today there was a basketball game in America. I think it was college basketball, and I don't know, the coach, I think her name's Dawn Staley.
Okay.
And then she's a big black female coach, I think. She got in an argument with a guy, and the guy said it's all about respect. You know, you come to the centre court and you shake my hand and you show respect. Yes, I lost, but it's not sour grapes. And then they said he was too aggressive with her. You can't talk to women like that. You're not allowed as a man to question a woman. But if you're going to allow a woman to enter a man's realm, she should be treated exactly as the man.
Right.
She should play by the same set of rules. She should be apply the same set of standards. If she's out of line, if she was berating him, right?
Yeah.
No one said anything about her getting in his face, doing that very black thing where they berate you and mock you and give it all the kind of gangster vibe. And this guy was just a very calm 72-year-old white man. You know what I mean? And he was like, no, listen, respect. You shake my hand, win or lose. Yes, I lost. You come to the centre circle, you shake my hand, you show respect. And she was like, oh, respect. You know what I mean? It's like, they have a very entitled, obnoxious attitude, some of these people. You want to be in a man's world, you have to play by the rules that are set by us.
That is a fantastic point. And what you're basically discussing is the difference between relative morality and absolute morality. A man's world is absolute morality. That's what you build entire societies upon. Relative morality is the female's world. And if you build a society on relative morality, it will crumble. It will crumble. It will not be consistent. It will not be, you can't count on it. It'll come apart. Okay. And the reason being is because you can change what is, true and false if you're a relative moralist based upon your situation. You can't build successful industry on that. You have to have absolute morality where whatever's true stays true and continues to be true no matter how you feel about it. That's very, very important. And that's really the war that we're fighting here. We're fighting a relative morality war versus an absolute morality war. And the elites are trying to liquidate the middle class, trying to liquidate it, trying to create this relative morality so that they don't have to compete with us anymore, so that they don't have to be subjugated by us anymore, so they can have us subjugated to them, so they can do their own weird shit, bro. And that's basically what it is. They're crazy motherfuckers. And that's what's going on. And James, you said, you and I have to get out here and graft. Like, I completely agree. You got to hustle. You got to do your thing. One of the things that we're working on right now, I'm going to pull up this golden veto. I got Ben working on this golden veto. There's an image of it. He's putting it on the bottom there is a black plinth. That's such a funny word, plinth. And it's basically just black onyx there on the bottom as a cube. And that's going to be the award for it. So everybody, he's also going to spray it in a clear coat to get it done. But everybody, if you want to enter the Golden Veto Contest, I encourage you to enter the Golden Veto Contest. All you have to do is draw a veto. James drew 2 vetoes. They're in the running. Post it on X and tag me. They're fantastic. I also had another guy. You know who I'm talking about, James. He offered last night to throw me some money to have more awards. And so we're going to have the Randy Tater Awards. And so if there's any other benefactors out there who want to jump in on this.
Crispy bro.
Yeah. Who want to jump in on this and throw a little bit of cash so that we could have even better awards, that's what we're going to do. Eventually, I would love to get to the point where I get like a corporate sponsorship so that I can give a sketchbook out and drawing utensils out to everybody who enters. I think we've had maybe, 30 or 40 people enter. I would love to be able to give a sketchbook and, watercolor pencils, cool pens, like make a nice little pack and give it out to everybody that enters the drawing competition, because I think that's what this is all about.
You can't buy that kind of popularity. You can't buy that kind of goodwill, Veto. You should embrace it. Should I be Veto? I should embrace it. I'm not going to do Veto because you just done my head in, man. I'm still trying to recover, but you can't buy that kind of like goodwill. If he'd have got on it from the ground up, I think he would have. You could change the way people think about you overnight. You know what I mean? You can embrace it. You can be involved, and it would be like helping. Like I said, when you enter this game, you don't enter at the top, you enter at the bottom rung. And if you don't want to be on the bottom rung, you've got to kick, you've got to scratch, you've got to claw, you've got to do everything you can to get out there. You've got to do videos, you've got to do live streams, you've got to make appearances, you've got to get on the socials, you've got to it's got, like D-Wag was saying yesterday, treat it like a full-time job, because it is. You've got to treat it like a full-time job. You've got to take it seriously. You've got to turn up to work. You've got to be responsible. You've got to hit your cues. You've got to hit your goals. You've got to hit your timelines. You've got to do all that kind of stuff. And Vito could have come along. He could have given us a bit of rub. You know, he could have like leaned into it, embraced it. Even if he'd have been like totally mocking of me and took the piss out of my effort to do a parody of him, I'd have loved it, because it's funny. It's no skin off my nose. It's no knock to me. We did it. We had fun. I would have liked to have seen him be a bit more open arms about it, but you know, you can't. You can bring a fat man to water, but you can't make him drink, can you?
No, you're 100% right on that. And, you know, I tried to get Vito to be a guest judge and do all this kind of stuff. And, you know, he said he didn't want to do it. He doesn't want to do the interview. Then he does, then he doesn't, then he does, then he doesn't. No harm, no foul. I don't blame him. You know, he doesn't know if this is a gotcha. It's not a gotcha, Vito. We're just trying to have a good time. We're trying to deliver some fun to the audience. That's what it's all about. And to that end, you know, I wanted to ask formally if perhaps Dick Masterson would love to be a guest judge on the Draw Veto contest, as well as Ethan Van Sciver. And basically what I would propose is that I will make a video package of all the entries after the conclusion on April 11th. And I'll send that video package over to Ethan Van Sciver, and I'll send it over to Dick Masterson. They can watch it, the package on stream, or they can watch it in private, however they like, and then they can select which one of the winners that they like the most, the funniest cartoon or drawing or whatever that they like the best, to give their golden veto to. And then I will also select mine, and then I'll come. They can tell me, or they can mention it on air, and then I'll have a ceremony to conclude the Golden Veto contest, and we'll give away all these prizes that we have. I have the Golden Vetoes, of course, for the top 3. Then I'm going to have some other prizes.
I like the cheese veto. Whoever was the cheese veto, I love that. The cheese veto.
I think good. I think Embed did that. That was a pretty funny thing. Yeah. And then I have some other prizes for the next, I think, 7 people. And now I have the Randy Tater Awards, which we're going to figure out what to do with that. I'm going to ask him what exactly does he want to do with that. And would the benefactor like to give an award, like to give his awards, or maybe we'll ask Mersh to jump in and be a guest judge as well on behalf of Randy Tater to give away the Randy Tater Awards. So, you know, I would love for this thing to grow. People have already been.
Yeah, I mean,
people have already been.
I'm incredibly vain. Yeah, I would love it if someone done an art contest based around me. Someone made statues based around me.
Yeah,
I'll embrace it, good, bad, or negative. You know, because I enjoy that. It's kind of like, it's good publicity. All publicity is good publicity. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's a good thing. You know what I mean? And I think it's been a really beneficial thing for Vito, because it's kind of bucked him up. You know what I mean? He's got back into the biggest problem in the universe. He's hitting the groove. You know, this might be the comeback. You know, it might inspire him to lose a bit of weight.
Yeah.
You know, it could be good for him.
Yeah, and you know, we also want to have these. People are already asking me about the next drawing contest. So, you know, I'd like to do another drawing contest. You know, maybe not like right away, but after maybe a month or so, and then come up with some better prizes. Maybe try to get some other benefactors to jump in and help out with the prizes. And also try to seek a corporate backing. Like I would love to get, like I said, Canson. They make a fantastic sketchbook. It's the one that I use to be able to give sketchbooks out to everybody who participates and try to get back in the traditional art style. So that's kind of what I'm working on as far as the Draw Veto Challenge. The Golden Vetoes, very excited about that. So make sure, if you'd like to get in on it, and you should get in on it. It's not about the best drawing. It's not about the worst drawing. It's about whatever makes you laugh. It's about the funniest veto. So whatever you can do, you know, get your crayons out. You know, maybe you got a lot of super duper pens and pencils, get those out. Or maybe you just have that old number 2 pencil or that ballpoint pen or whatever. You can do it on line paper. You can do it on printer paper. You can have a sketchbook. You can do whatever you want. You can do it on the computer if you want. You know, and put it in there. Of course, we're not going to do AI.
I want someone to do a spaghetti veto.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Or a condiment veto. It'd be funny.
Yeah, it'd be funny. We're not going to, of course, no AI, that don't count. But if you draw it out or whatever, we're definitely going to take the submission. Just submit by tagging me on X when you post it before April 11th. And then we're going to go ahead and have that judging, and we're going to give away all the prizes. It'll be fun, and I'm excited about it. It really grew, and I'm really happy with how it's turned out and how it's been received by everyone. So thank you guys all for that. That's fantastic. Now, also to mention, I've been working on Super Killers and the comic book Super Killer. So I'm really excited about that. Today is going to be the launch for it. It was supposed to launch in about 2 minutes, people. 2 minutes. So I'll pull that up in a second when it does launch. But let me tell you a little bit about how this came together. The Super Killers book, of course. Okay, so of course Vito did the Super Killer book, right? And everybody was all hype on it, and it generated $137,000 in sales. James, did you know that? He didn't make it, but he generated $137,000 in sales. That's pretty good, isn't it?
I made a lot of money. What did I do with it? Oh yeah, I bought toys and stuff to sell on Whatnot.
Yeah,
A loss.
yeah.
I think that's what I did. I bought a load of toys and I sold it at a loss on Whatnot. Pokemon cards, Magic cards, all the stuff that tickles my fancy. So there's your money. It's all gone, lads.
Yeah.
You're not getting your book.
Yeah. So then, so he made this comic book, made it about 2 years ago, crowdfunded it, got $137,000, which is nothing to sneeze at, bro. But let me tell you, six-figure contract.
That's good stuff. That's elite level.
So kudos to him for doing that, for pulling off a successful campaign and raising all that money. But then he went and he criticized, along with Dick Masterson, ISOM and the whole RIPA thing and everything like that. And I think the psychological weight kind of got to him. And so he wanted to make sure the Super Killer was just perfect. So then he got into this OCD loop about adjusting all of these little tiny things, nothing that mattered, of course. And, he kept going. It's so long that it still hasn't come out yet. The Super Killer book still hasn't been printed, still hasn't been released yet. So everybody started to get mad about it. They eroded the fan base of The Biggest Problem in the Universe, which is a show that I love. I know you watch it too, James, don't you?
Yeah, I was a big fan. When it was hot, there was nothing hotter. It was must see on a Friday. But then Vito again, he started tinkering around the edges, didn't he? Why do you want to mess with a good thing? If you've got a good thing going, don't mess with it. Don't tinker around the edges. Ride it until the wheels come off. That's how I feel about it. But Vito, he kind of gets in his head, doesn't he? Like you said, Super Killer, because he's a critic and a vocal critic, he was worried about the criticism that was going to come back. And you can't. When you enter the game, don't worry about the criticism. Apparently, the first draft was the best draft, but apparently we're way past the first draft now. So what's going to come out is going to get heavily criticised for two reasons. It's not as good as the first draft, and there's been a massive delay.
Right.
And are people going to get all their tchotchkes?
Right. And so then the big delay happens, right? Then everybody on The Biggest Problem starts beating Vito up about it. He gets all upset about it. It kind of erodes his confidence, and he loses steam in producing the comic book. Also, he got all, like James said, he got all the tchotchkes. He made them all in China, the lunchbox and everything, and they're all in his garage, and they haven't even been mailed out yet. So now there's this big animosity, this big, social debt that Vito has upon his back. And with every day, the debt gets bigger and bigger. And so I saw it like really weighing on The Biggest Problem in the Universe, eroding the fan base. And I was like, what could be a possible solution to this? And my possible solution was I came up with maybe, I don't know, a year ago or whatever. And I was telling Vito, I said, you should hire Johnny Rocket and Riley to produce and write your Super Killer 2 and get it out there. That'll re-energize the base. That'll get everybody all excited about it again. And of course, he said, no, I don't want to do that. And I was like, no, you got to do that. He said, no, I don't want to do that. And then a couple months go by. I said, you should really do this. You should do this. And then then Riley came to me and said, hey, you think we could do this? And I said, oh, you mean like us do it? I said, yeah, we could do it. Is Johnny Rocket down to, write the script for it, and write the treatment and all of that good stuff? Because he's a great writer. And if you guys don't know, he is the writer for Helephant for Ethan Van Sciver. He also rewrote ISOM 1 and 2 and I think 3, and he chopped them up and he put them up on his website. And bro, and I was rolling. Yeah, so Jabai is his Substack. Go follow Johnny Rocket's Jabai Substack. And so he redid all that kind of stuff. And between that time and now, I've done a few covers for him. Johnny Rocket did The Maniac, which is a great comic book written by Johnny Rocket, drawn in sequentials by Corgan Art, who's a fantastic artist. And he's also an animator. An artist du jour, as they say, so very fantastic about that. And so we got together, right? And so we were talking about what we were going to do. And then Johnny wrote up a script, and it's a banger of a script, very funny. And it was what people thought Super Killer was going to be, instead of an entire diner. The entire comic book takes place in one diner. People wanted to see Super Killer kill other superheroes, take them out. They wanted to see him do these things. It's like, it's kind of like if you go to a Rambo movie, James, and you see Rambo and all he does is sitting in his room and he talks about war. You're like, that's great, but I want to see you go out there and kill some motherfuckers. I want to see him like do that thing where he ties up his hair with a headband and he puts the knife and then he like kills everybody. I want to see that happen. I want that action. And so that's kind of what we did. And Johnny wrote the script, like I said. I'm just about halfway through the sequentials right now. I've colored some of them. I've done the cover, and the launch is today, like right now, like 5 minutes ago. And let me bring that up real quick. Here it is, Super Killers. Here's the
have we matched Super Killer yet?
Yeah, it's Super Killers with an S, and it's a group of Super Killers. And it's on Fund My Comic /Super Killers with an S. And thank you, Riley, for dropping the link in the chat. But it's live right now. So go on over there and get it, guys. This is our take on Super Killers. This is really exciting. We're going to do it for 30 days. We're going to shoot for $1,000. That's what we're going to shoot for. Now, right here, what we did, instead of saying it's $25, we said it's $35 all in. Okay. This includes shipping, so it's free domestic shipping to the USA right here. So that's what it is. You get the cover. What is Super Killer? Super Killers is basically our take. Like I said, we pick up right where Vito left off. Here he is when Beck wakes up in the topless, naked. She wakes up. Super Killer's on a cross. He jumps down. He kills the people and he gets away. Okay, so that's one of the pages of the sequentials. That's what the art's going to look like. We also have a cover coming from Vasilis Lolos. He's, if you're not familiar with Vasilis, he's a fantastic artist. He's a Eisner Award-winning artist, which, if you don't know what that is, that's like winning an Oscar or a Golden Veto. That's like winning a Golden Veto for, no, not a Golden Veto, people. It's like winning an Oscar. Okay, so he's basically won the Oscar version of the Oscars for comic books. And Vasilis is also... He lives in Greece. He's a fantastic avant-garde style comic book artist.
An eccentric European.
That's right. He's an eccentric European. All right. And then we also got, we're going to have another cover by Ibai Canales, who's one of our guys. He's a bruv. He's a Spaniard, a Basque, a fantastic fella. And he's a fantastic comic book artist. And he's going to do another one of the covers. So we're going to have 3 covers. Okay.
He's on a food tour at the moment, isn't he? I keep seeing him posting pictures on X. He's on this like lovely little food tour, isn't he?
Yeah, he's over there in Korea right now, going on, having a great time doing this food tour. And so he's going to do one of the covers, and so I'm really excited about that he agreed to do it. It was kind of touch and go to get both these guys, but their schedules opened up and permitted. So I'm really happy that fell into place. So then meet the characters. The characters we're going to have in this, of course, we're going to have Sam, which is Super Killer, if you guys are familiar with Super Killer 1, all right? And then we're also going to have Beck, which is, the female, his assistant or his associate or his sidekick, however you want to put that. And then there's Artie, which is the psychopathic robot that's, brings in a little bit of a Dexter, if you guys have seen Dexter. And then we also have Vito Talente. Yeah, we put Vito in the comic book, people. We put Vito right in the comic book. Why not? And this is a little bit of addition that Johnny came up with, is to put Vito in there. And Vito is basically Super Killer's boss. And so he keeps, fucking things up and everything. And he's a huge comedic relief on in the comic book. And he's hilarious. The Vito character is hilarious. He's going to be ongoing. And I really love that addition. I felt like it was fantastic, how it coalesced like that. And Johnny was like, no, let's put Vito in there. I think it'll be great. And there's a funny little joke that he did. 6 Sigma green belt, if you guys know what that is. That's actually a real industrial thing. And if you're a 6 Sigma proficient, that means you have certification in manufacturing and production, which is funny because Vito didn't deliver, that kind of thing. Whatever, you get it. There's all kinds of jokes all the way through here. Target 41 is who they're going after. It's one of these Power Ranger type figures. His name is Yoichi. His number is 8675309. Okay, now if you guys know what that is, that's that great song. 8675309. You know, all that kind of Jenny's number. Okay. And then we have more sequentials down here about when they're at the base, what they go through, meeting the team. You know, we got, of course, me, I'm doing the artwork. Johnny Rocket's doing the writing, and Riley's helping out with the production and the facilitation of the marketing and all that good stuff. So, you know, it's been going fantastic. And then we have more of the sequentials down here about Super Killer getting in an argument with Vito. Of course, he's at his desk with all his monitors. He's blocking people. You know, he's blocking Johnny Rocket on you know, on X. He's blocking them on YouTube. He's blocking everybody, right? Then he's also trying to figure out over here, how's my audio? You know, he's got Guy's Cradle in the background. He's got cats everywhere. He's eating. And then, of course, he's having a good time. He's got his little Super Killer plushie with his kill file that he's given to Super Killer of the next people that he's going to have to kill. Like I said, we're going to have the covers, the 3 covers from the 3 different people. Here's the first cover that I did, the Super Killers cover. A fun take on a Power Rangers idea. So this was originally a Power Rangers idea of the layout. I just took it and I reformatted it. I put Vito's eyes in the background. I put the Super Killers in the foreground, and then the Power Rangers who they're going to encounter in this issue, and they're going to have to eliminate. So it's going to be fantastic. You got Vasilis doing a cover, an Eisner Award winner, by Canales, a fucking legend from the Basque Legend, of course. And then here's another one. Here's a montage situation where the Super Killer goes and he kills the Ninja Turtles. Okay, he kills Michelangelo. Then he figures out. He goes back to the office and Vito tells him, "No, you were supposed to kill all the Ninja Turtles." And he's like, "Oh, my bad." So then he goes back and instead of some elaborate plan, he just takes the turtle van that's parked back there when they're at the funeral, and he drives right through them and kills them all. And so here's a question about the merch. There's not going to be any merch, people. Vito already made all the merch. If you want any merch, it's going to come from Vito himself, because we're not doing merch. We're just going to do the comic book. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We'll probably have some stretch goals, but we're not going to have any additional merch for you guys to buy or anything like that. You know, this was just for fun. We just want to get this comic book out. We just want to get it going. We want to revitalize the Super Killer IP. We want to take that weight off of, Vito, so that he can go back to being funny on The Biggest Problem in the Universe.
Vito wants to take that weight off Vito.
Yeah, facts. You know, you guys all saw the last Biggest Problem when Cynic and, Frog Tony came on, and Vito was funny again because he wasn't the object of criticism. So he was able to be funny again. And so that's kind of what we got going on here. In this panel, we have Vito talking about the next person that Super Killer has to kill. He gets it wrong. He mistakes the Superman for Green Flash. And, of course, Super Killer gets his ass beat, and he ends up in the hospital right there. All of this is going to be done in traditional medium. That's what I do it in. I do it in watercolor, and I do it in ink on actual paper. So after I'm done, there's going to be 41 pages. Plus the cover of real art, okay, traditional art. I don't mean real as in, I mean tangible. I don't mean real like computer art isn't real art, because of course it is. I just mean tangible art, people. And this is my setup. This is kind of what I do, and I'm excited about it. So we're having a good time. Go back it. We're gonna have different goals pop up throughout the entirety of the run. It's going to be a lot of fun. And hopefully that, it gets enough interest that Johnny's already working on the next one. And so we're excited about that. But go back and on Fund My Comic /SuperKillers. I'll go ahead and drop that link in the chat right now. Whoops, sorry about that. We go ahead and drop that link. Boom. Put it in there. We're good to go with that. So go over there, give that a back. Have a good time. I'm going to be going on a couple of other shows. Hopefully I get on with EVS with CG Live. We'll love to jump on over there. And of course, with anybody else that wants to have me on, I think the Commandos or Cynic or any of those guys, I'd be love to do it, chat with those people. So go back it. Fund My Comic /SuperKillers. We're going to just do it for 30 days. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a good time with it. So thank you guys for letting me do that little pitch. It's been something that I've been working on for a while, and I'm really excited about it. And bam, we already have 2 backers. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. Let me give a little round of applause for that. Already 2 backers. Let's fucking go. That's what I really appreciate. So thank you guys for that. But that was my little spiel for that. It's been something, it's been a top secret project that I've been swamped in, working in the background for quite some time, doing this. And I've got a lot of other things that I got to get off my plate as soon as I get this done. I got some shirts that I got to do for Mersh. I got some shirts for Riley. I got some other things. I got something I'm doing for Johnny, the audio engineer, one of my bros, and I got a couple of other things that I got to get done. And then I'm going to get back to Kitty City. We're going to get Kitty City knocked out, and we're going to have a good time. And so we're having fun with that. Let me go ahead and jump in the chat and see what everybody say. Air Joe says, the best Vito drawings are made with love, not hate. Some might see them hateful, but they're actually full of love. You know, I completely agree with that. I don't want to, hate Vito. I like Vito, the character, very much. I don't believe in kicking people out of the group. You want these other counterpoints, these foils, so that you have some dynamic environment so that you have something to talk about. So, I believe in that. Okay. Let's see what else we got. We got Coupe de Jour says, so I'm out $50 and you want me to buy Super Killer from you to make Vito happy? No, not at all. The $50 that you're out to Vito is to Vito. This is a parody of the Super Killers that we're going to try to deliver on. And I have a very interesting stretch goal. If we make it, that might solve both those problems, and it just might have both shipped together. That's what I'm working on behind the scenes. Of course, I can't say anything just yet because I haven't got all of the specifics nailed down as far as the cost. But I'm trying to find a way to, give the audience more
solve everyone's problems.
And solve everyone's problems. That's what I'm trying to do here. Yeah. And trying to, help everybody out, because I think we all want to keep the biggest problem in the universe. We all want it to get back to being funny. I think that's very important. And we want to get their viewership back up because of the quality of the content. And Vito's a part of that. Yeah, and so, it's kind of like we want to get that.
Yeah, there's plenty of terrible podcasts. There's plenty of terrible streams. When you find one that's good or half decent or watchable, you want to fucking cherish it and keep it around for as long as possible.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. Pat says, Ginny is a dude. Talking about that song, that fun 8675309. Yeah, bro. I don't know, man. Them classic rock guys, like Lola, Lola, Lola. Yeah, like that song. That was about it.
It's a little bit yacht rock, innit?
Yeah, that was about it, dude. Big B Trucker says, Ginny will break your heart if you don't call her. 100% she'll break your heart. No, Coupe de Jour says, so y'all just doing the story for Vito? No. I reached out to Vito initially to try to get him involved. He doesn't want to be involved, so Vito doesn't really have anything to do with this. Vito's not a part of this.
Vito's going to absolutely love Super Killers, but he's going to try his darndest, to pretend to hate it. You know what I mean? Because that's like his stock in trade. You know what I mean? It's like even shit he likes, he pretends to hate. You know what I mean? This is going to be like a good book, innit? I mean, it's something, right? He hasn't even released a book yet. He's got a parody book out, I mean, this is is kind of unheard of.
Yeah.
Vito's Super Killer, who is yet to deliver, right, in physical copy, right? He's already got his own parody book.
Yeah.
Think about that for a minute. If he wasn't a big time personality, if he wasn't someone who's like grabs the zeitgeist or gets people's juices flowing positively or negatively, he wouldn't have a fucking parody book without the first book even being released, would he?
No, you're 100% right, James. And hopefully this also lights a fire under Vito's ass to kind of make everybody whole. Like we got, what is that guy he's up in Canada. I think his name is Joe H. He's a lumberjack, and he basically went in $800 to support Vito. And he's like saying, yo, where's my stuff? And so there's a lot of people like that need to be made whole. They're good people, man. They're good guys out there, and they need to be whole. And hopefully Vito will make them whole. Send out their merchandise, send out their book. And if he doesn't do it, maybe we can figure something out as we go along. We got Mr. Jeeky in the chat. He says, this could turn into an LOL suit 3.0, but Vito is broke, so he can't afford the attorney. Well, that's 100% right. That's one of the things that we calculated is, it's possible that Vito does a little bit of a lawsuit maybe, but that's just going to bring more attention to the campaign. It's going to, boost it even more. And, hopefully Vito doesn't like resist this and just kind of goes with it, because we're really trying to fix, a lot of things here. And also I'm not going to lie, I'm having a good time getting into this comic book space, and this was a hell of a
Vito's a
project.
fun character. He's a
Yeah,
fun guy to talk about. I don't know Vito personally. I don't know him from Adam. But when you're online and you talk about people that you don't know and online person, he's a fun guy to talk about because he's kind of a complex character. You know what I mean? You think he's quite simple and quite predictable, but he kind of goes different ways, doesn't he? Like you said, when he rocked up and done the blackface and all that, he's kind of like a guy that's fucking. You don't know what he's gonna do next. You know what I mean? He just pulls like fucking rabbits out of hats. He literally, right, off this, he could get so angry about it that he decides to fulfill his book.
exactly.
And then it served the purpose, hasn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
He could get so pissed off and his nose could get put out of joint. It's like, well, I'm going to show those fuckers. I'm going to fulfill my book before they get the book out. Then we're going to see who has the last laugh. Or he could go the other way and just be like, no, you're not getting your book. You know what I mean? You just don't know. He's that type of person.
Yeah, you're 100% right, and I hope he does. We're shooting for a fulfillment date. We're to begin fulfillment in July 4th. So we're trying to have this to be a fast turnaround time. Like I said, I've already been working on the pages for a good minute before we even launched this campaign. So hopefully we're going to have a fulfillment in July 4th, and by that time, hopefully I'll have more details on some of the other things that I'm trying to pull together to kind of solve these problems. I do have a little bit of a background in logistics, so hopefully this will go off, kind of without a hitch, is what I'm thinking. I've been drawing Vito for a long time, having fun drawing. I started drawing Vito by drawing cartoons for the biggest problem in the universe, just for fun. And thankfully, Dick reposted me. I really appreciate that. He's been very generous, very kind to me in that regard. So a shout out to Dick. I really appreciate that. And so then this just became a no brainer when it was proposed, and I was like, yeah, let's do this, man. Let's have a good time doing this, and let's see if we can't shake things up socially. If you want to make a change, you have to assert yourself. You have to create something, right? You can't just say, like all these YouTubers, hey, well, show up and fight me. Let's fight. Like, bro, how is that going to make all these people whole who invested in $137,000 in your comic book? You don't want to do that. So we got Presby Bro, Base and Bikes in the chat. He says he's late. Let's fucking go. Yeah, Presby Bro, I was just talking about being appreciative of you throwing in a little bit of cash to help have that Randy Tater Award. So I was thinking that I'll put a video package together, and perhaps either you can select, or maybe we can let Merch select how to award the Randy Tater Award. So we'll talk about that offline.
His cats have got a lot of personality, man. I love it when he posts the pictures. You know what I mean? It makes it easy to drop a GIF. They're just like GIFable fucking cats, I'll tell you.
Coop de Jour says, did you just call Vito magic? LMAO. Well, I mean, Coop, I don't know what you mean when you say magic. Well, I say that he is somebody that everybody talks about. So there is something about Vito that grabs the attention. He obviously had the ability to raise $137,000, which it should be commended. Now, he hasn't delivered on that yet. What were you going to say, James?
You don't have to like a person. You don't have to respect a person for them to be big in the genre, to be big in the media, to be big in online culture. There's a lot of people I don't like. There's a lot of people I don't respect, but they're fucking huge.
Yeah.
Because they grab the zeitgeist. The people that I watch, like, they've just done the Inside the Manosphere with Louis Theroux. You might not like HS Tiki Toki. You might not like Ed Matty. You might not like the Tates. You might not like Neon. You might not like any of those guys, Clav, right? But they fucking grabbed the zeitgeist.
Right.
They got money. They got followers. They're bending the culture to their will. And that's what me and Ray are trying to do. We're trying to grab the bull by the horns and bend the culture to our will and change online culture through these streams, through what we're doing, front of house, in the background.
Right.
You can complain about it till you're blue in the face. But if you don't get in the ring and try and change it, what the fuck are we doing here? We're trying to change online culture and bend it to it. And Vito, whether you like him or whether you don't like him, he pushes people's buttons. He makes people feel a certain way. You know what I mean? They either fucking love him or they either hate him. There's no middle ground with Vito. You're either in one camp or the other. You're either a Vito-phile or you want to give the guy a slap. You know what I'm saying? It's he's got that power to make people feel. He's an antagonist.
Right.
He's a villain. You know, that's who he is. He's a natural born villain,
Right.
online villain, and people get wound up by him.
Yeah, it's facts. Riley says in the chat, he says, tune in to Dick's show for Johnny's more aggressive pitch. And I think that's going on here either right now or in a minute that he's going to be doing that. So yeah, Johnny Rocket's going to be on the Dick show, going to be pitching the book. So I'm really excited about that. Pat says Tater is cute. Yeah, Tater's a cutie. Coop says it was the rabbit out of the hat comment. Rabbit out of the hat. What is it? Oh, did I say rabbit out of the hat? I didn't mean to say that if I did.
Yeah, he might do. He could do, couldn't he? He might be a magician. You don't know with fucking Vito.
Maybe.
He could turn up dressed up like a fucking magician, you know. You can teach an old dog new tricks, can't you? You, Johnny Riley, you might get him to fucking get his arse into gear, you know what I mean? Because there's one thing a man doesn't like, and it doesn't matter whether he's a bloke like me, a bloke like you, or a bloke like Vito. Personalities have nothing to do with it. No one likes to be embarrassed at their own game, on their own turf, on their own show. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
there's a male pride. There's a male pride that fucking comes with like trying to do something.
Ani says, what if Vito contacts Luke from Fun My Comic? Well, I mean, that's just going to be bigger, more advertising for the comic. So it's not really.
Yeah, because you won't do anything about it. Luke's pretty much anyone can come on there. The terms of service on Fun My Comic are pretty loose, aren't they?
Yeah. We got Riley. He says, Johnny Rocket's on the Dick Show today. Thanks to everyone for backing Superkillers today. I don't care to solve any of Vito's problems. Okay, so there you go. I have a different viewpoint. Riley says he doesn't care to solve any of Vito's problems. He's just doing this as a for some other reason. But that was the way I took it when I set out to do this.
Vendetta. He's like a little Italian, isn't he, Riley? I look at him and I think, I don't think you're Asian, mate. I think you're Italian.
Riley says, I'm just doing this purely maliciously. And you know what? I believe that.
Yeah, I do.
And then he says, Liam, you are next. So, okay, let's fucking go. So, there you go. We got the Coupe de Jour. You
could draw Liam, couldn't you? He could be like a half kangaroo, half man character, couldn't he? Like Kangaliam or something.
Sure. King Kangaroo, yeah. We got Coop. He says, Vito just says what you like to hear. I get it. You're right. Vito just says what everybody wants to hear. That was manifest in the very example of him doing an interview with me. When I asked for the interview, he said no. But then when he went on the Dr. Till show and they asked him, and he said, sure. I already put out that video with James here. James, you froze a little bit. Let me fix your audio. I did that video with James and doing the Vito and impression, which was hilarious. Doing things like that's fun. And I put on there all the times that Vito waffled back and forth, and then finally he agreed not to do it. He said, no, I'm not going to do it. Even Johnny Rocket asked him on EVS's show if you'll have an interview. And, he said, sure, I'll have an interview. And Patrick said, okay, well, all I got to do is get him a date and time. I'll talk to Ray about that. And then, nothing ever transpired from that. So, it's no big deal. We're just going to go ahead and do what we're going to do. And we're making a book, we're trying to elicit social change. This falls right in line with what me and James were talking about earlier. All of this stuff that's happened in the EU, all this stuff that's happened in America, you can't just sit on the sideline and complain about it. You have to put together a strategy. You have to put together a plan, and you have to put it in action. And then it probably won't work. The first plan probably won't work. And then you'll have to do it, reevaluate, change your plan, put it out again. But the important thing is that you start to implement plans. You start to try to affect change. That's what it's all about. That's how you become a change maker. What are your thoughts on that, James?
Yeah, you've got to get in the ring and you take a few punches. When you start out, you take a few slaps, you take a few defeats, and then you adjust your game plan, you adapt your tactics, and then you start seeing some progress and making some progress and getting somewhere. That's how I see it. You know what I mean? We're starting out small, we're taking our licks, but we'll grow, we'll get there. And you know what I mean? This comic book's a good thing. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's a lot like the Vito drawing contest. When I first started that, I didn't know how big it was going to be or if anybody was even going to do it. I figured maybe I would just do a couple of videos on it, but then everybody got excited about it. It gave people a chance to participate in something, show something off, show off their skill, make a funny joke. It was very cathartic for them to a lot of people were very upset at Vito because he didn't deliver. So they kept saying, okay, they made cartoons about where the fuck is that comic book? Where's it at, Vito? And so that kind of got them to let a little bit of steam off, and that's what this is all about. You want to remain a community. You don't want if people like fuck up or whatever. You don't want to just banish them out to nowhere, right? That's the term of last resort. You want them to apologize and make good upon whatever mistake that they made, and then they want to get their good standing in the community again. And that's kind of, I mean, that's the way that I look at this. That's the way that I look at Super Killers. I know that Riley has a different take, and I'm sure Johnny Rocket has a different take too. But just being the artist, I am trying to envision what Vito saw and make it the biggest, best possible version that I see in my mind, and that's what I'm trying to do. And then we want to go ahead and fulfill that IP out to the people. That's what I'm excited about.
I think Vito will come around because human nature tells me that people want to be a part of something that's fun and people want to be a part of something successful. And this comic book, like the art contest, has been fun. It's caught fire. People are engaged, and I think Super Killers is going to be successful. It's going to catch fire. People are going to be engaged by it. People that like Vito, people that don't like Vito. So eventually, I think he's going to come around, even if he just does it out of necessity, because people like Vito don't like being left out of the loop. They
Right.
don't like having no control over their destiny. So he's going to have to he's going to have to put his hat in the ring. He's going to have to do the interview. He's going to have to go on shows, even if he just argues against it. You know what I mean? Because that's his nature. He's going to take a side. He's either going to go with it or he's going to be very antagonistic towards it. You know, Vito won't just stay on the sidelines and be like, I don't care one way or the other. That's not his nature. He will get in and take a side on it one way or the other.
Well, you're exactly right, and people like Vito, people like the different, have these kind of characteristics. The goal here is to set up a plan or a path so that you can predict their behavior and what they're going to do, so that when they do it, you already have the next move in place, which we do in case they go one way or the other. We got something else already set up to go, and then so we basically put them on a track and guide their behavior to the place that we want them to go. And that's what we're doing right here. We've already won by putting out the book. The book has been put out. In my opinion, it's already been a success. Everybody's talking about it. People are talking just like they're talking about the Draw Veto contest, all of that kind of stuff. We got Coop de Jour says, y'all are straw manning Vito like crazy. No, we're not. Could you elaborate on that, Coop? How are we straw manning?
I don't know why he's
Vito?
getting so bent out of shape about it. We're just two dudes, right, talking. Who gives a fuck, man? You can have a different opinion about Vito. I don't give a two shits and a fuck, bruv. You know what I mean? I don't care. You know, we're just two geezers saying our opinion. We might be wrong. We might be right. Who the fuck knows? Only time will tell. Vito is going to determine whether you're right or me and Ray are right. You know what I mean? You're going to have to wait and see how the chips fall. You might be right, and then I'll say, well done, son, you were right. I still won't give a fuck because I don't care about Vito. You're making out like I give a shit about Vito. I don't follow Vito online. Vito is not my online friend. Vito is not my real life friend. And Ray is doing a parody book about Vito. We're not exactly kissing his ass, are we?
No.
Or sucking his dick. You know what I'm saying? We're just we're just having a laugh. We're two dudes online having a laugh.
Yeah, 100%. And we poke a lot of fun at Vito in this book. We wrote him as a character into this book, and we try to highlight his the things that he's done. As in the lack of follow through, fucking up the campaign, things like that. We put those characteristics in that character so that we can all have a laugh at it. And the book becomes more important because it is based upon a real life character that we all know and we all talk about it. That's why the Vito character is so important. You know what I'm saying?
You don't have to convince me that Vito is a fuck up and a screw up because he's missed his deadline. He hasn't fulfilled his book.
Right.
He's taken money and he hasn't delivered on his promise. And as a consequence, Riley, who can't stand him, I don't know how Johnny Rocket feels about him, and Ray's ambivalent, have done Super Killers, which is a parody, which is mocking his comic book that hasn't even been released in physical form. I'm not fucking in any way have I said, hey, Vito's a great guy. I don't give a fuck about Vito. And it's not like we're saying this dude is like, I hope you get your comic book if you ordered Super Killer.
Right.
I hope I hope Vito facilitates it, but if Vito doesn't facilitate it, I hope Ray, Riley, and Johnny facilitate it.
Yes.
I hope there's a way that you can get what you want and you need, and you can get peace with it. You know what I mean? But don't think I'm Vito's cheerleader, mate. Go on my fucking X. I don't follow the dude.
Yeah.
I don't follow Dick Masterson. I don't follow a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's very few people I follow online.
Yeah, Mr. Jiki says Vito strawmans himself. That's 100% right. I'm not playing against Vito here. I'm playing for the audience. I'm not out here to try to denigrate Vito or lift Vito up. I'm out here trying to serve the audience and try to deliver some delight to the audience. That's my purpose here. That's what I want to do.
I just think it's funny. I like it when people go at each other. That's the whole thing about online. It's like me and D-Wag, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're two sides of the same coin. It would be very boring, right, if we come on and go, hey, D-Wag, you're the greatest guy I've ever met. I want to be your best friend for life. No, we rub each other up the wrong way and we have a good laugh and it's banter. And it was a fucking fantastic stream yesterday.
Yeah.
It caught fire. We were all on good form and it made for like a nice little tetchy, edgy, funny stream, I thought. So,
No,
yeah, that's
right.
how I feel about it.
And that's the thing too, is that like I've never met Vito in person. I've only encountered his online character. And it's a character, and I think that's a big problem that people watching all of this don't understand, is that you have to separate the person from the character. When I meet
like the art from the artist. Do you think Vito, honestly, right? Does anyone in the chat think that Vito is 100% like that in real life? I'm telling you why he isn't like that in real life. Someone would beat the fucking shit out of him, mate. He would get ironed out in a marriage. Do you think Vito goes around and speaks to people in that manner, acts in that manner, gets up in people's faces, abuses
No,
them?
he doesn't.
Doesn't deliver, doesn't pay his bills. You know what I mean? Go, I'm not paying my bills this week or this month. Of course he doesn't. He's a normal functioning fucking human being, but he's an antagonistic arsehole online. Only the people that have met him in real life could possibly say if he's the same person. I very much doubt that, because like I said, he would get the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Everybody who's online that does these streams is perfecting their character. And it's a craft much akin to acting. And, I think just to take the rose-colored glasses off for a moment, despite the parasocial relationship that other people, the viewers maintain with that character, they have to think for a moment and separate the character from the person. Riley says, Ray Steelman's Vito. I mudman him. Yeah, and that's true. I do. I Steelman Vito. It would be so easy for me to take the position that he's a piece of shit, blah blah blah. But that's not interesting. Think about it for a minute. Use your noggin. That's not interesting. That's very predictable. Nobody wants to watch predictable. Nobody wants to watch the formula that's already played out.
The fun is in the nuance. That's where the fun is. The fun is in the nuance of human nature.
That's right.
We are all different. We all rub people up the wrong way. There's people that rub me up the wrong way, but I wouldn't have it any other way, because we engage in a certain manner. You know what I mean? And it makes for entertainment. We're in the entertainment business after all. It would be very funny, wouldn't it, if we just come in here and go, hello, my name's James. I'm doing a stream with my online pal, Ray. Today we're going to talk about the what's going on in England and America. Thanks for tuning in. Bye. Can you imagine? Fucking be awful.
No, yeah. You want the stuff that's going to get your blood up. You want to get like that conflict. You want to get that. And, that's why I embrace anybody who wants to come and say their piece on here. Drop it in the chat. Say your piece.
Yeah, Vito could come in here and tear me apart. Yeah, he could say, your fucking interview of me was terrible. You're just some fucking arsehole from England who's got whose opinion carries no weight in my world or whatever. And I would just lap it up and laugh. And I would just goad him and go at him and have a pop back and take the piss out of him. It'd be hilarious.
Right, because it's about entertainment. And about the only thing that I won't allow is people to tear down the people that I'm working with, or try to do like doxing or anything like that, talk about their family, blah blah,
which we've experienced lately. Fucking hell.
We get rid of those people. Draw Zombie says, looking forward to seeing all the vetoes in the Draw Veto contest. That's right. I'm going to put together, when we conclude, a video package so everybody can see it. I'll publish it on my show. I'll give it, like I said, I asked Dick Masterson if he would be a guest judge. I asked EVS as well if he would be a guest judge. And I'll talk to Randy Tater after this and see how he wants to facilitate that. If he wants to judge, or maybe we'll get Merch to judge. We'll see how that goes.
Well, see, it blows back on Ethan as well, doesn't it? Because Ethan has some responsibility, because Ethan allowed him on his platform. He had that final push where he went, I think, from 80,000 up into the 120s, did he, or the 130s? Yes. He had a really big final push thanks to Ethan's platform, Ethan's fans, and you've got those people in Comicsgate that also feel like they've been fucked over. You know what I mean? Because they always say, right, they get into your head, right? You don't know what someone else is going to do.
Yeah.
So if you have someone on stream, technically you vouch for them. So
Right.
anything that they don't fulfill suddenly comes back to your doorstep because they say, well, you had him on your show. You gave him your platform. We told you the veto was a wrong un. You should have never done that. Now we're going to take our patronage away from you. Everything online is a risk. You don't know how people are going to go. They could be like really great for 3 or 4 months and then they could fucking snake you
Right.
and stab you in the back. We are literally taking, by being on here with anyone we stream with, we're taking a huge leap of faith.
Right. Right. That's 100% true. We got DJ John in here. He says, clip it first and James Shitman veto. That's true. Coop de Jour says, why does Vito abuse Eric July? Well, that's a great question, Coop. It's very interesting, the veto. I did a cartoon. I'll see if I can't find it. About
He thinks Eric July is a fool that shouldn't be in the comic book genre. You want my opinion? He has no respect for Eric July. He doesn't think Eric July should be in the comic book genre. He thinks he's a hack and he thinks his success is undeserved. Vito thinks that he should have the kind of success that Eric July is seeing. But you have to bear in mind that Eric July's got a bigger platform. That success was baked in from the start because the people that buy Eric July's books are buying it because they like Eric July. They do not care about the content. They do not care about the quality. They just know that I want to support a guy that I like. He's part of FNT. He's part of Geeks and Gamers. He's one of our boys. He's one of the crew. And that's why they do it.
Well, you're 100% right, James. And also I did this cartoon about Vito and Eric July, how they're kind of mirror reflections of each other. And, when Vito and Dick Masterson first did the critique of Eric July, it was all valid critiques. And then when Vito was going to drop his comic book, what I believe happened is that, I'm sorry, I just saw something, lost my train of thought for a second. But when Vito was going to drop his comic book, he knew that the same kind of criticism was going to come for him. And it was just, I think, too much psychologically. And so I think that they both ended up having the same behavior pattern. And, this is all about human psychology. That's why what we're doing is so incredible. It's not only that you get to watch it, but you also get the opportunity to interact and to be a part of this whole drama that's playing out. Because really what we're doing is we're playing characters in a big soap opera. And James and I, along with the other bruvs, has decided to participate in this. Johnny Rocket was already participating in it. Riley, famous Riley, was already participating in it by getting arrested and showing and pulling up to Eric July. And I really respect all of that. Eric July should have never had Riley arrested. Eric July should have accepted the fucking criticism from Dick Masterson and Vito because both of the criticisms were accurate. Eric July should not have assumed the very first book that he made was going to be a masterpiece because it takes time to refine these skills and to make these masterpieces. Hell, I still have the Isom right over there. The first one that I bought for $70. $35. It was $35 to buy the book, $35 for shipping, bro. I fucking was so pissed when I got that book and opened it up and I put it on the shelf, whatever. But so that's this whole situation right there. And as an observer, I see this, and I was making parodies about this stuff long ago, maybe 2 years ago, whenever it first started. As soon as I was doing it right when Riley was getting arrested, I was making parodies about this stuff. I made several fun comic book covers about the whole situation, about how Riley got locked up, because I was upset about it. Nobody should be locked up because they have their First Amendment infringed upon. And I really took Riley's side on that, and I was upset about that. And I was like, "What the hell is going on?" I really, personally, I feel like Glenn Beck is behind Eric July, and I feel like the whole Mormon machine is behind Eric July. And whatever, I don't care. That's fine, whatever. But he represented himself as one thing, and then turned out to be a completely different thing. That's completely possible.
Look, Riley will always have my respect. Riley will always have my respect for the fact that he stood up to Brandon, who could have smashed him into the middle of next week, and he was dressed in a yellow cape. and he stood there and he didn't flinch and he was doing nothing wrong, and he'll always have my respect for that. One of the funniest things I've ever seen online was Riley marching up a hill, with his like novelty scissors. Very funny and very entertaining. But if you want me to criticize Vito and be strong in my criticism of Vito, this is one thing that I will criticize him about. Vito likes to give off the impression that he's very intelligent. Well, he should have realised, right, that it was baked in whether the book was good, bad, or indifferent. Right. He was going to get overwhelming criticism because he stuck his big fucking nose, he stuck his big size nines into a war between Comicsgate and Rippaverse and FNT and Flashcast and Geeks and Gamers, and these people are fucking tribal. They don't care about the quality of the art. They don't care about the quality of the writing. It's just, hey, that's my guy. Other guys are fuckheads. That's my guy. I will defend him to the hilt. That ain't my guy. I'm going to dog him into the next life. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Vito will never get any props, right? He will never get any props and praise from Flashcast, from Geeks and Gamers, Friday Night Tights, any of that crew, Rippaverse, because he's not on their side. He's on the opposite side. He's the Dick faction, Dick and Vito, the Dick show, the biggest problem in the universe. Whether he likes it or not, he's connected to Riley. And we've seen that, haven't we? Because you and I have been watching Mint streams. People have come around from that. They used to call Mint all the names under the sun, didn't they?
Yep.
Like how she was mentally disabled, how she was being trafficked, she all those things. Suddenly they've come around and they like her now because she's distanced herself from Riley, distanced herself from Dick. She's doing all these charts where she's taking the piss out of everyone. See, unless you're on their side, they're going to run you into the ground. It would be like if I did a comic book, maybe Ray's going to get the criticism now from that faction. Maybe they won't give it the respect that it deserves. You have to understand what type of mentality you're dealing with here. These people are not pure art critics.
Right.
They are fanatics. They are fanatical about a certain group or a certain person.
Right. No, you're 100% right. Let's see. I'm going to jump in the chat real quick. We got the DJ John says, "Have a fun have fun, Mr. Cheeky. Have a good Easter." Coop de Jour says he said he was just going to make comics. What do you think Eric promised? I don't know what you're referring to there, Coop. What we're really arguing about here is, like I said earlier, I made this discussion earlier. Maybe you were here, maybe you weren't. This is an argument about relative morality and absolute morality. You can't build greatness on relative morality, Coop. You just can't. It doesn't matter how much you want to be emotional about it. It's impossible. Draw Zombie says laser eyes blinked. Pat says you're right about Glenn Beck. 100%. Back then, there was this whole movement, not only Glenn Beck with the Blaze, but also the Daily Wire, in order to try to take the market, the entertainment market, 100%, and it failed. It failed horribly. Unintelligent Design says, "Happy Easter." Well, happy Easter to you. That's Liam in the chat. Good to see you, Liam. Hope you're doing great. We were just kind of
away from Australia.
The koala, the Kangaroo King, or is it the Koala King? I forget which one. But the King, Liam in the chat. A shout out to you, bro. Coop says it sounds tribal. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Coop. Are you referring to the small hats, or are you referring to something else? Clarify if you would. Who else we got? Unintelligent Design says, "I'm friends with Mint. I want her to have a happy life." I completely agree, Liam. I want them to have a great life too. My only bone to pick about that is build a platform on positivity. Don't build it on negativity.
What's with all those fucking charts, right, where you dog everyone? You know what I mean? And don't ever pass over Gypsy Crusader like he's nothing.
Yeah.
Gypsy Crusader is the absolute governor, mate. You don't go, "Who's Gypsy Crusader?" Yeah. Fuck that shit, mate. That guy is one of the most important people in the fucking culture war. He puts it all on the fucking line. He put it all on the line in the ring. If he'd have lost that fight, it would have been over for him. Right. So don't ever gloss over Gypsy Crusader.
No, I agree with you, and I think there's a big area to present for the online psychology. It's very interesting, but you can't just read one book, take the book notes, and then try to present that like you're some sort of academic about philosophy. You got to approach it more from a learning standpoint, or else you're going to encounter trouble as you go forward. I believe that. But I want everybody to be happy. You know, hell, I wanted Eric July to be
You want
successful.
Rio to be happy, don't you?
Yeah,
You're
I
not
did.
doing this book to.
Yeah, I wanted Vito to be happy. I wanted Eric July to be happy. I first found out about Comicsgate because of Eric July. I didn't know about Comicsgate before that. I just was watching Friday Night Tights, and then here Eric July comes on, and he's doing his independent comic book, and I was like, hell yeah, let's fucking go. Let's get the independents. And so it was the first comic book that I've purchased in maybe like, I don't know, 10 years maybe or something like that. It was his comic book.
You have to understand, right, that these people are in competition with each other. We're all in competition with each other. Even the people that you're friends with are in competition with each other.
Right.
It's cutthroat business. Not everyone's going to make it. Not everyone's going to survive. It's blood on the dance floor. You know what I mean? Comicsgate sees Rippaverse as taking money out of their pocket. Rippaverse sees Comicsgate as taking money out of their pocket. It's become tribal. It's become factional. They don't buy from each other anymore. Literally, they've cut their own. I said this to Ray, didn't I, many months ago? It might even been years. I said they're going to cut their own throats. You know what I mean? They're not going to like be able to pull into each other's business model because they've gone to fucking war and now they hate each other and have alienated both of the fan bases. So they can't pull their resources. So when people talk about it's an unlimited pie, it's not a fucking unlimited pie, mate. There's only so much of the pie, and Vito's eating all the pie, and I want a bit of pie. You know what I'm saying?
We got Coop in the chat. He says someone is being emotional and it's not me. Coop, I'm going to tell you a little something real quick. It's not about emotion. Also, it's not.
I'm an aggressive person, mate. This ain't fucking emotion. I tell you. If we met in real life, you'd see emotion.
Yeah, no, and it also, you know, when you're going to have a conversation, direct statements are much superior than indirect statements. So if you want to say something rather than having an inference, say it directly. You know, that's masculinity. Do that. Okay, engage in that. Who else we got? Okay, Coop just says, "What are you saying?" I'm not. What? Clarify if you would for me, Coop. But it sounds like you're a bit uncertain, and so
we can't find common ground, can we? It's just one of those things, man. It's like
it's
you're going to have your opinion. I'm going to have my opinion. Ray's going to have his opinion. I'll just wipe my mouth and move on, mate. I will literally, when we get off stream, I won't think about this
yeah,
for 1 second.
You're going to go get that Easter dinner ready, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna enjoy my Easter with my family, and I could give two tuppenny fuck. I'll be nice. I'll be pleasant to you. I don't even give a fuck. You know, it's your opinion. You're entitled to it. You go and have a good Easter with your friends and family.
Yeah,
I don't give two shits and a fuck, brother.
Coop says, if you're going to read my comments out of text, don't read them. Coop, bro, this shows.
Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal, mate. It's not a hassle. You're welcome here all the time, man. Coop, it's not a big deal. It's not a hassle, man.
We're not being combative or confrontational. You know,
you should go back and watch our streams. This is normal interaction, man. This is nothing.
Coop, just say a complete sentence, and I'll read the complete thought. You keep putting up sentence fragments, and so I'm reading them as they come in.
Just say, James, you're a cunt and you're wrong.
Coop says, don't read my comments. Coop, the other thing too is you got to understand as well with this streaming thing. There's a delay. You know, I get the comment right away on the text. I read it out. It's about, it could be as much as 15 to 20 seconds of delay when it comes back. So we've already moved on to something else by the time, so it's not, there's not an intentional thing. In fact, every one of your comments that you've typed, I've been sure to pull up and read. And we built
the back end of the show around your comments, mate. We've made the show all about you, Coop. It's the Coop show. It's the Coop show.
It's all good. And honestly, I do want the independent space to be successful. Okay. Yeah. I want Comicsgate to be successful. Hell, I wanted Rippaverse to be successful. Here's my main contention with Rippaverse is that, like I said, it goes back to absolute morality and relative morality. Rippaverse wanted to upend the standard of the independent comic book space. And in order to do that, he had to destroy Ethan Van Sciver. He couldn't do that. So now he's flailing off in his own world, okay?
He's scrambling around, releasing a multitude of books, you know what I mean? Right. The quality's going down.
Yeah, and so Coop, you're going to say, what are you talking about, Ray? What are you talking about? That didn't happen. And I'm going to say, yes, it did. He would never come on stream with Ethan after that. He dodged Ethan on the Alex Stein stream. Bro, they should have came back together. Maybe they could have hashed it out. Maybe they could have fixed that relationship, but Eric July clearly didn't want to do that. Case in point right there. The champion does not avoid conflict. Okay. It's only the runner, the person who doesn't think they can win that avoids conflict. All right. And that's
I'll
just
get
how
on
it
a
is.
stream with anyone. I'll get on a stream with Coop, mate, and we can have it out. You know, it's all good to me, mate. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what it is, right? With Eric July, you know, I think it's in like I can't remember what movie it is, but they say it's pride fucking with you. And his
Yes.
pride fucked with him. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Once you got that pride, it knocks you out of the box, mate. Look, I don't want a young family. You say she's got a young family now. Do you think I want a young family to starve, suffer, not be able to earn? What do you mean? I've never met the guy. I don't care about him. I'm not
Yeah.
an arsehole. I'm not involved in this comic book world. I'm involved by default through Ray because he's my pal.
Yeah.
But I don't get. Ray knows I don't care about comic books.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Coop says they did a stream after the night letter. Yeah, they did do a stream, but then they never. But then Alex Stein was going to have EVS on and Eric July. They were both booked to come on. Eric July found out about it, pulled out of the stream, and then told Glenn Beck never to allow Alex Stein to have EVS on ever again after that. Bro, that's not what's supposed to happen. And then also, you can't say all of a sudden, okay, now I'm not going to be a YouTuber. I'm not going to do this drama. You built your entire career on YouTube drama. That is the marketing arm. Okay. Without all of that, without the YouTube drama, there is no marketing for any of the Rippaverse. You know, he made $3.7 million because of the YouTube drama, because of Friday Night Tights, because of all these other shows that he went on. He would have never made that money otherwise. So the YouTube drama, the YouTube market, all of that is, is integral to the success of the Rippaverse and integral to the success of Comicsgate. Any independent person has to do this. Yeah. What's that, James?
Do you want to know where Eric July went wrong? Eric July was a very proactive person. But then he became, after the spat with Ethan, he became a very reactive person. He was watching what Ethan was doing with Trashcast, and then he was like, well, I've got to get out of the YouTube mudslinging business because Ethan was seeing good success with Trashcast. So he had to take the opposite opinion. When you dig yourself in a hole where you have to take the opposite opinion to your enemy or perceived enemy, you're always going to be reacting to what they do instead of being proactive. And that's not the way you want to be. It was like, it was like he stick to beat Ethan with, well, why don't you get your books out? Why don't you do your drawing? Well, Ethan's doing draw streams now, isn't he? He's getting moving. He's doing his books. They're going to see the light of day. So you can't have that argument anymore because he's become reactive. He should just concentrate on his business. Ethan should concentrate on his business. But as me and Ray know, this is the online gaming. You need conflict. You can't come and do boring shows. Eric July realised that. His YouTube channel was suffering. So you have to throw your hat back in the ring. You have to get back in the game. This is not an exact science. Me and Ray have been tinkering around the edges from the start. We're trying to find the right formula. We're trying to get better. We're trying to get bigger audience, bringing in more super chats and stuff. So you know what I mean? It's like, you know, we're trying.
I don't have the big double D tits in order to have a built-in audience, so we got to work for it a little bit. But I will say this before we just we're coming up to the top of the second hour. I will say this, that the best thing I would love to see is for Eric July and EVS to stream again, to have a conversation about this, and then see what happens. But
imagine how big that would be.
That'll do numbers. That'll do. Yeah. I'm looking at this strictly from an audience perspective. As an audience member, what do I want to see? Well, I want to see that. I want to see that conflict. I want to see that back and forth. I love that conversation between Nick Rekieta and Eric July, where Nick Rekieta was asking questions and stuff. That was fascinating, and to see how that went. You can't just avoid all of that. You got to be able to have that conversation. You got to be transparent, or else you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna develop this animosity. It's gonna become a social debt. As in with what Vito did, he took $137,000. Now he has this huge social debt above his head that he has to discharge, okay? Or he has to go away and be forgotten about and have a bad standing in the community. But I don't want him to go away. I want him to come back. I want him to have good standing in the community, and I want him to resume doing whatever the fuck he does with irritating Dick. You know what I'm saying? So we can get back to those good things. You know what I mean? Okay, let me jump in the chat and then we'll wrap it up here, James. I'm gonna say DJ John.
I'm having fun. I could go another 2 hours. Me and Coop, mate.
This is good
Me
stuff.
and Coop, I'm enjoying it.
I appreciate
this is good. Interaction with the audience in the chat. I like it.
Yeah, I appreciate what you're saying, Coop. Thanks for coming on and putting in your 2 cents, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for being here. Coop says he said that he had a built-in audience. I think Eric is doing business. Eric is doing the business, maybe. I'm not sure. You think that sells
He's a
comics?
businessman now, isn't he? He's a YouTube man.
Okay,
Is that what he's saying?
so Coop, this is what I meant when you said you think that sells comics. I don't know what that is because we talked about whatever that was, like maybe 45 seconds
He's
ago.
talking about rage, isn't he? Like rage bait and fucking trash cast and things like that.
Coop, if that's what he's talking about, yes, that's exactly what sells comics. That's why Eric July got on, was it Pierce Morgan and was some other network television, Fox, because he was a black creator that was being independent against the big two. That is the conflict I'm speaking of. That sells comics. That does. Okay, without a doubt. It sold $3.7 million.
Controversy creates cash.
Yeah.
That's a saying. That's an actual saying. Controversy creates cash.
Liam says books sell books. YouTube shows get eyes, but books sell books. Liam 2026. Liam, I agree with you. But before the book was even out for the Rippaverse, they sold $3.7 million. No book had been out yet. So what that means is that the YouTube experience, the YouTube marketing was so successful that sold it. Okay, they had a precipitous drop off in the second book, and then in the third book, and I agree with your point though. You have to have the great book to maintain the sales, right? You got to have that.
But Liam knows this. Who put legs under his book? Ethan.
Right.
Ethan put a fucking rocket under your book, Liam.
Yeah.
I don't know you, and I'm not dogging you. Ethan said it was a really good book. He took a lot of stick, didn't he? People criticised him for giving you that bounce, giving you that rub. Right. But Ethan said, look, he said to John Malin, did he? Look, Liam, he's got a really good book here.
Right.
And then you got a nice little rub. You made some money. So you need that.
Yeah, you're right, James, 100%. Coop says, you think conflict sells comics? Coop, bro, marketing 101. The vices sell the product, okay? What's the number one selling product in that there is, right? Porn, okay? Because everybody has a strong sex drive. Then you got like the ego. Then you got like gambling. Then you got liquor. It all appeals to these vices, okay? One of the vices is conflict, is gossip, is, ooh, I got to see what happened. I want to see what's going on with so-and-so. That's what sells comics. It's proven. You can't make an argument otherwise. Coop says it is fun. I agree with you. We're having a good time here, Coop. I appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Look in the fight game, right? Which is what I'm into. Look in the fight game, right?
That's
fights
true,
with fights with no conflict, right? Where two people get on really well and they like each other, do really shit pay-per-view numbers. But if you get two people conflict that hate each other, the pay-per-view numbers go through the roof because the build-up is mesmeric.
Right.
Look at the build-up, right? Shit fight, right? But look at the build-up to Mayweather-McGregor. They had people by the fucking balls.
Yep.
That was good pay-per-view. Any Mayweather fight, great pay-per-view because he brings cash, he brings conflict, he brings controversy. But you look at Usyk, undisputed best cruiserweight, best heavyweight on the planet. He's a fucking gentleman. His next fight is against Paul Verhoeven, the kickboxer. It will do shit numbers.
You're 100%
do
right.
Shit numbers.
You're 100% right. Let me drop. I'm going to drop Liam the link in the chat in a second. Coop says there's plenty of black comic creators he sees on Shark Tank. Well, I'm talking about per capita, Coop. I'm talking about, sure, you might have seen one or two on Shark Tank, but out of all the comic book creators, how many of them are black? Okay, you got to think about it in that term. You got to pull yourself out of your own POV and what you witness through the entertainment or the media that you consume, and try to look at it broadly. That's really important.
David Williams. David Williams is a great artist in Comicscape, right?
Yeah.
But he's not as well known because he's a gentleman and he's not controversial.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He doesn't appear online all the time, does he?
No.
Hasn't got his own show. His sporadic appearances. He'd be bigger if he got out there.
Yeah, you're 100% right. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and we'll drop this link to Liam. We'll get him involved a little bit, see what he has to say about it. See here. All right. Drop it in there. Sorry, bear with me, guys. Okay, Liam, I just dropped you the link on your X. You're more than welcome to pop in and have a conversation about this. There you go.
Man, I'm talking way too much about comic books, man. I've had
to
be vetoed this week. I've been vetoed this week. I'm talking about comic books. No wonder I look like shit.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Yeah, okay. Erjo said, what do Comicsgate people think of Image Comics? I only hear the shit talk Marvel and DC. Bro, I fucking love Image. I like Marvel and DC, or used to like them. I don't like what they're doing now. I haven't really followed comics in like
Where did Dale Keown work? Was Dale Keown
Image.
Image?
Yeah, he was Image, but he also did some stuff
Well,
for Marvel.
everyone loves Dale Keown. They universally say he's the best artist in comics game. So I'd imagine they're very favourable
Yeah.
about how they feel about Image because of how they feel about Dale Keown.
Yeah, back when Image popped off, I bought every Image book, bro. I loved Image back in the day. I think that was in the 90s. One of my favorite Image, one of my favorite ones was Top Cow, was Danger Girl. I fucking love J. Scott Campbell. I love Danger Girl. So it was fantastic.
Was Rob
Absolutely love it.
Liefeld Image? Was he Image? Rob Liefeld?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was he?
he did Youngblood and
But
he
you've got to
did.
remember, before these guys were Image, they were
What?
all
Well, let me.
Marvel and
Hey,
DC.
Liam, welcome to the show. Good to see you, buddy. How you doing?
Hey. First up, I just want to say, I like the balls of not being afraid to sort of court controversy. I think that there's definitely something to that. But I think that you're sort of missing the forest for the trees, okay?
Okay.
And I mean this with
Sure.
love, okay?
Yeah.
So I've been in this game a while. Even before Dino King. I mean, Xenotype made I think it was like $2,000 or $3,000 less than Dino King, and that was big. And I didn't get any big promotion for that. That was all on me, right? So I've succeeded here before on a few other things, before I had everyone sort of fucking against me too. You know what I mean? That
No,
sort of
I know. I agree.
messed
I
it
agree
up.
with you, Liam. I'm not
Now,
disputing that you make great comic
yeah,
books.
I know. I'm sorry. It's taking me a little while to get
Okay.
to it, but I guess what I'm trying to say, I just sort of trying to preface it for people that are at home and might not know.
Sure.
What I'm saying is like, it's not the fight. It's not McGregor fighting this other guy and them having a conflict. It's the story. And I don't mean the words on the page. That's definitely a huge part of it, right? But the reason that these conflicts get so much momentum behind them is because of the story of the conflict, not the conflict itself. Okay?
Okay.
So
Uh,
if you've got a good story, a good reason for having a conflict, see, I've seen so many people in this space go, we've got to do conflict marketing. But 90% of the time, these people have no fucking good reason to fight with anyone, right?
okay.
And you'll notice they'll flounder around and not make any money, not get anywhere. It's pretty much what the whole slums are, right? It's the reason they've never raised anything over like $4,000. We're gonna fight with everyone and we're gonna have like cockfights and like false fights between creators. It never works. It never really gets any momentum because there's no genuine story there behind their conflicts. There's no.
I will agree with you, Liam, and I will say that
Yeah.
it has to be authentic. And of course,
Yes,
there can be no story without conflict either. So it could also be the inverse.
Definitely.
But I don't think that
definitely.
you should project conflict just to sell a comic book. That's not what I'm saying at all.
Oh, good because I've seen so many people that say exactly that. It started with the Etsy's back in there. You gotta fight and attack people, sell books, and it's
I
like
don't like that.
no, we are currently in a post-apocalyptic comic book space because of that mentality. It started with the milkshake girls. It started with a whole bunch of people attacking the conservatives because, they've got different ideas and we don't like them, so we want them out, taking away people's space and everything. And like, you got to fight for what's yours, like people give me endless shit about it, right? Oh, Liam, you can't stand up to the whole internet. Well, fucking, what am I meant to do? Roll over and die? Throw away everything I've worked for?
No,
you got to fight for what you believe in.
No, I agree with you, Liam. And I remember watching like one of the big ways that I got introduced to you was from the Ethan Van Sciver, that little video he put together, and then your reaction the next morning when you woke up and you saw that the sales in Dino King. And that's the kind of conflict that I'm talking about. I don't really mean like it has to be two people fighting. It's like this emotional conflict that gets this resolution that I'm desperately need. And that's the kind of thing that sells comic books. And it can't be a projection. It has to be authentic, like you just said. I agree with that.
Yeah, that was one of the happiest moments in my life. That was such a big surprise. You know what I mean? That was such a big surprise because I'd been like person non grata for the longest time. I'd been dealing with shit coming at me from all sides, people trying to turn me into content. And to have Ethan actually enjoy my work after everything, I just appreciated it, to wake up and find all those books sold. It was a lot of pressure off me.
Well, yeah.
I promised my father-in-law
Yeah,
that I wouldn't continue to do the comic book business if I wasn't bringing in money doing it. I said, because he wanted me to, I make more money doing other things, right?
Sure.
but this is what I love. And so I told him, like, all right, as soon as I'm not in the green, I'll stop.
Yeah.
But that what he did with Dino King not only allowed me to pull way ahead in the green so that I was no longer stressed about my comic company having to shut the doors on that, but also it allowed me to hire an artist for Dino King 2 that is on par with the other kings so that I could sort of focus more on my writing and the promotion. So
Yeah.
it was a really big deal that happened with everyone helping me out that way. I really was grateful.
Well, and also from a third party point of view, that is something I want to be a part of. I want to be part of a space that lifts up, these, creators like this. I want to be
Me too, man. I've been trying for the longest time. It's been heartbreaking to try and just find people that are more interested in lifting people up instead of just endlessly attacking and perpetuating conflict. Like, because what happens is we've got like these different stratas in the community that you'll notice, right? And there's certain people that once they get to a certain point, they can't go higher because they don't have the talent to do so. And then their goal is to control everyone else's rise. And so it becomes a lot of shit talking, stirring, creating division, deliberately trying to turn people against other people. And instead of this being a highway and a path up, it becomes like playing fucking Donkey Kong, man. You're jumping barrels and dodging fire and shit.
Yeah.
It's,
No, I hear what you're
but
saying.
everyone's just trying to get to the top.
I hear what you're saying. Well, I think I understand that everybody's goal is to get to the top, and everybody wants to create something they're passionate about. But it really becomes, like I discussed earlier, a battle between absolute morality and relative morality. When you're a creator, you engage in absolute morality so that you can build the biggest platform possible. Like you said, if you realize you can't go forward, perhaps some people shift to that relative morality where they become a parasite and they try to denigrate other people to push themselves higher. Long term, that never works. That's a spiral of decay. And people
you're 100% right, man. And that's what I've been trying to say to people that are like, even my haters, because I've seen this happen over and over and over again. And it's like, look, I want everyone to succeed because I believe that success breeds success and happiness is better. Even people that hate me, I want them to be happy. I know it sounds gay, but it's true, right? I think it'd just make everything easier.
Sounds pretty gay to me.
Yeah.
James.
But I think that it's Easter, you know what I mean. So I'm trying to take some advice from Jesus here.
No, I agree with you.
But like I've said to all my fucking haters and stuff, you will end up dying, you will end up failing, this has a dead end, and they don't ever listen.
They never,
Liam.
They never will. It's in all of our best interest. So if we have the vision and the creative impetus, is just to go on with our creation and let our creation lift us up higher. And to that end, I'm looking forward to Dino King 2 and whatever else you're working on. So and
I haven't had a chance to see the beginning of this stream, so I'm going to be a selfish dickhead here. What's up with SUPERKILLERs? What's that all about? Tell me all about that. Okay. I don't know anything about it.
Oh, well, SUPERKILLERs was basically what happened was, Vito never delivered on SUPERKILLER, the comic. And so I am still a big fan of The Biggest Problem. Like, I love Dick and I love Vito, their interaction and, their banter. And I noticed
I love Dick.
Yeah. Shut up, James. Shut up. I noticed that it was eroding over time, and it was because of this social debt that Vito did. Everybody kept asking him about, where's my comic? Where's my comic? And so, I proposed a solution to Vito to hire Johnny Rocket and Riley to make sure the second one comes out. He said no. So then basically we got together and we made a second version of SUPERKILLERs. We made a parody version of it. And that's what we're delivering. And in order to make.
How far along are you on that with your how many have you done the full book yet, or have you just done a few pages to see if it funds? What's your
the first book is already written. I'm halfway through all the sequentials, and we're looking to try to fulfill July 4th. That's what our fulfillment day
nice.
Is for.
Good day good day for that. Is that is it 48 pages?
It's 41 pages. 41 pages. And there might be some other things. That right now, like you did a fantastic entry for the Draw Veto contest. We might include some of those into the back of the book, some of the winners. And
have you ever done printing before? Like, have you ever done a comic before?
I have a background in manufacturing. I have printed some. I've done comic book like things, and I've done books, but I've never done a comic book of my own. I've done. I did a book for Chris Pratt one time when he was trying to raise funds a number of years ago that I printed, but I did it over in China. I didn't do it here.
Yeah, no dramas. Just your comic book. I'm not being a big dog. I'm not being an asshole. This is me being kind.
Sure.
Your comic book has to be divisible by 8.
Okay.
A number of pages has to be divisible by 8. Just trust me. You'll understand
I
why
appreciate it.
that
No.
happens.
No, I understand.
So,
I get it.
yeah.
So we were probably going to put like maybe some of the winners in there, which I really haven't announced yet, but I'm telling you right now. So there you go. We were probably going to put some of the winners in there and one or two other things, and so we would fill it out to 48 pages.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But thanks for your interest. I appreciate it, bro. And
Yeah,
it's
no.
nice
Well,
to have a Comicsgate King on. It was a nice surprise.
Oh,
thank you.
You know, thank you. I'm currently the exiled king. I'm
but still a
the
king
outcast
nonetheless,
king.
right? A king nonetheless.
Yeah, but still, that's right. I've been here from the start. You know, I've been here longer than most of the kings. You know what I mean? I've seen what works and what doesn't, and ultimately, whether or not whatever people say about me, I want to see comic books succeed and be successful. I want to see people that are in this space do well, and your mustache is awesome. So, like,
thanks, bro. I appreciate that. Yeah,
you got a good mustache and a good attitude.
Yeah,
that puts you on the gold star on my list.
Yeah, I will. You gotta have a good mustache, and I just want to participate and create things that are enjoyable for the audience. That want to get the audience entertained and deliver delight. That's my motto. I just want to deliver delight, whether it's my artwork or streams or whatever. I appreciate that. Thanks for that nice compliment, Liam.
No, it's good to be able to just chat with someone that's not screaming at me like a fucking lunatic for change.
Yeah, well, that's James. James is the screamer. I'm not the.
If you want me to scream at you like a lunatic, mate, I'll tell you.
No. I've had enough of that. I've had enough of that. Whereabouts from the UK are you from, man?
South London.
South London, nice. Okay, I lived in Portsmouth for a few years. I was over.
You lived on the south coast, did you?
Yeah.
Hanging out with those Navy boys, were you? Oh.
Yeah, I was seeing a lingerie model at the time.
Oh,
back in
nice.
Liam, you got to go watch our stream yesterday. We had some pretty crazy stories as lunch table. We were talking about James has this wild story about the meat sweats, how he was seeing this girl and she would get the meat sweats. And as you can imagine, that's quite odorous.
Oh, goodness. Not good.
Yeah.
I remember you from when you wanted to fight John Delarose. How's that going?
I still do, man. I still do, but he's a pussy. I'd love to fight most of these people, like a lot of these retards that get out and run their fucking mouth and fuck around with life ruination and shit. Like, I'd like to just stand in front of them. I think they think I'm like 4 foot nothing.
Yeah.
Like, because like I've got like these big old shoulders and like little dwarf legs, right?
Yeah. Well,
so like I think they think I'm only a little man.
How tall are you?
I'm
actually, are you a big guy?
I'm like 5'8", not the biggest in the world, 5'8", 5'7",
Yeah.
So it's like I'm not like tiny. I'm tiny compared to other Australians. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, I know. There's some Australians get pretty big. We got Oni in the chat as asking Exiled King should be a Dino King chapter. That's very interesting.
It's an awesome title.
Perhaps Exiled King. I love it. I love that.
That's the thing about this comic book genre, isn't it? It's a game of snakes and ladders. Yeah. You're in the in crowd, and then you're out, and then you're fucking back in. That's what I'm trying to say. You got to grab attention somehow. And you were talking about the slums. Well, the problem with the slums is none of them have got any personality. They got the personality of a wet dish rag. That's why they don't do anything. D-Wag is incredibly entertaining, and Zaid is incredibly entertaining. And because they stream with me, they're even more entertaining. You know what I mean? So that's all I'm saying.
True. I wouldn't really consider them part of the slums, even though they do the slum bits. Like, there's sort of a certain implication. I've always really liked D-Wag. He's a great promoter. He's probably one of the better promoters on Comicsgate.
He promotes.
He's one of the
guys
that, like, I'm a manipulative shithead, So like, I'll look at people and see like their potential, and I'll be like, and D-Wag's one of those guys. I'm like, if I got him on and put time in, I reckon we could sell big numbers.
Yeah.
But I haven't done show promotion or thought about proper marketing promotion for like like 4 years at this point, right? Because I've been focusing on fucking everything else going on.
Yeah.
But he's someone that I think in the space probably is one of the best. Like, everyone's got an idea about how to sell comic books here, right? And 90% of the motherfuckers are wrong. But
Yeah.
he knows what he's doing, and
Yeah.
he'll be able to sell books. And once he cottons on to the little trick, like if I have a half-hour conversation with him, he'll be able to move books big. You
Yeah.
know, big numbers, big draw. He's got a lot of personality, a lot of good stage presence.
He's a
and
natural entertainer. I've told him this like
yeah.
over and over, and you know, he's gonna get his stream up pretty soon. I said, you got to get that shit going. Come on, bro. You got all the skill in the world and the talent, and he's on it. Yeah.
Well, he hasn't got my skill. He's got some skill. You know what I mean? He's got some.
He doesn't
skill.
have James's aura. That's 100%.
You're gonna have to carry him over the finishing line. You know, you have to make sure he does his best, mate.
Yeah, facts.
Nah, he's gonna blow up, mate. When you wait till you see what he's got going on with Zaid, it's gonna fucking knock your socks off, mate. I tell you.
Yeah, they're working on.
Zaid's pretty good too, from what I've seen from his artwork and stuff. You know what I mean? He's another. I keep an eye on people. You know what I mean? I don't. I sort of watch people for like who's gonna actually be worth mentioning. That way, when Ethan says like, "Oh, hey, is there? You know, what are we doing?" I'll go this guy and this guy and this guy, and I'm usually pretty stingy with who I'll pick out. You know what I mean? But like, I'm usually right.
Yeah, yeah, you're 100% right. No, Zaid's a great guy. Yeah, he's a very fun to talk to. Has a great personality, very positive person. So it's been a blessing knowing him for sure. And but you know, Liam, the very first time I even encountered you after the Dino King thing was I saw you posted some pictures of your ranch, and bro, you have some beautiful land. Let me just say that right now.
Yeah, thanks. They're currently trying to say that it's fake. It's for some reason they can't tell the difference between my property, which is all hills and mountains, and the property of another person who has my same name, whose land is all flat.
Well,
I don't.
Well, as a landscape painter, it pulls at my heartstrings. That's for sure.
Did you see the double rainbow that showed off yesterday, right over my property, shone right down onto the cabin?
Yeah, I think I saw that. Yeah, I think you posted that, right?
Like,
yeah, I've seen your pictures.
Yeah, just yesterday. I was like, you know what, life's pretty good. You know, all these dickheads being dickheaded, but life's pretty good. You know, and Easter's today. I'm gonna be with the family.
Yo, so what are you cooking? I asked James earlier. He's cooking a leg of lamb. He's with the family. I'm probably going to do a prime rib tomorrow. What are you doing, Liam? What are you cooking for Easter?
We'll do. I don't know if I'm going to be able to translate this. The POM might be able to understand me, but we'll go with some steaks.
We'll have a barbie. We'll have a steak on the barbie.
Yeah, that's right. A steak on the barbie. We'll have some snags. You know, some onions. You know, we'll just like a nice barbecue, and you know, pretty simple stuff. Like we've got. I mean, it's just steak mostly, really. You know, steak and beef.
Do people actually do they eat kangaroo over there? I don't know. Is that illegal?
Yeah. Okay, so you need.
How
to
does
have
kangaroo
a special,
taste?
So kangaroo is actually like it's a super lean meat that is super high in protein. It's really good for building muscle.
Okay.
It has like no fat on it. It tastes not great. It tastes like lamb with tang.
With tang, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's got like a natural tang to it. But you can buy it in the grocery store. You can buy it for dog food. It's pretty common, but you need to have a special license to farm them or hunt them.
Okay. Yeah, I was for some reason I was thinking that that might be an Easter you know, dinner, but I have no idea. You know, I've never. Hey, Liam, I want to ask you. We were talking about Spanion earlier. Do you watch Spanion? Are you a fan of Spanion? He's an Aussie.
What's Spanion?
Oh, Spanion's a guy on YouTube that's pretty big, and he's from Australia, and he travels around the world and like reports on like what's going on in this city, what's going on in that city. He talks about food. He did he's done Spanion kebabs. There's a whole chain of them now. But he was a YouTuber.
Well, I've never heard of him. I live in a little bubble.
Okay.
Where 90% of my life is, like, I don't know, like superhero stuff. You know what I mean? Like anime. Like, and even that I'm not as in touch with as I was. Just work mostly.
Sure. Yeah.
And what's going on in the CG space. Most of my attention, unfortunately, is spent slapping people out of my line of vision so that I can focus on other things,
Yeah,
like,
facts.
But no, I've never heard of him. I've never heard of him.
Well, his name is Spanian, Spanian, and he's a fellow Aussie, and he's very successful. Has a great YouTube, and I'm just dropping that. I like him. I watch his stuff. He just did a big
Yeah,
thing
awesome. I'll go give a look.
about Brussels and the EU, and we were talking about that earlier in the stream about how Brussels is the head of the EU, and he went there to see the city, and it's a torn up city, bro. There was a guy injecting heroin in his dick, if you can believe that, and he has it on camera.
Yeah, I'd believe that.
And
I've
I was
seen
just
that,
like,
yeah.
holy shit, bro. It's wow. But Liam, let me ask you one more question while I got you about Australia. How is it with the fuel shortages over there?
I was actually just about to bring that up. So my brother-in-law, this is some breaking news.
Okay, hit me with it, bro.
We're not going to get this anyway. My brother-in-law is a former admiral, right? And right now,
A rear admiral.
No, Jones, I'm making a joke. Okay.
No, like actually, like you know, big boat guy, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And
I'll just
right
take
now,
the piss, mate.
yeah, I know. I just try not to lose my train of thought because I'm retarded.
Sorry, mate.
So no, all good. So he right now brings in the ships, right? Now our fuel has gone for like $8 a liter right now, which is just insane. Okay.
What is it normally? Just to give us context.
$2.40.
Okay, $2.40. Okay.
$2.46.
Okay.
You know, like, so that's for diesel, less for petrol. But
yeah.
But anyway, real men use diesel. So so basically he's been saying this is, and I only just found this out today, and it's a big deal. So he called up my wife, right, and they're having a chat, and he said, "Hey, they're lying to fucking everyone. There is no fuel shortage because they haven't. There's not any fewer boats coming in. We've been bringing in the same number of boats and everything like that. All of the same fuel is coming in.
Wow.
No changes.
Wow.
So what the fuck's going on?" And I'm like, yeah, that's pretty big news. I'll talk about that, but I'm not YouTubing really now.
That's huge.
Yeah.
What about?
I mean, that's a big deal.
What about is there food shortages? Because here in America, they're telling us that like there's food shortages in Australia. They're mixing water and ethanol into your gasoline. All kinds of stuff.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that because I live out bush, right? Like I live out bush, so I'm like way out. I'm about 2 hours from the nearest point of civilization.
Well, me and James are fans of the bush, so
yeah. So I don't know like what's going on in the cities and stuff like that, but I have heard from, you know, like relatives and stuff like that, and I have seen photos showing scarcities.
Wow.
People panic buying like when they were like during COVID.
Yeah.
Like
what about lockdowns? Are they talking about lockdowns in Australia?
No, they did just announce that they were going to be solving the fuel shortage the fuel shortage issue in 2 weeks, and that was probably about a week ago now, maybe less than a week. And so like, but then again, you know, my brother-in-law was like, there's the fuel people are lying about shortages to mark up money for everyone, right?
So it's all
like,
social engineering,
yeah. But yeah, so I don't know, but like I don't know about any lockdowns or anything like that. They were just doing buying limits, like saying you can only buy like 25 liters. Like you could get like 50 liters in like you could get 50 liters in the cities and stuff like that, but out bush and stuff, you could only get like 25 liters.
Wow.
And the guy that runs the gas station that I was talking to, he was having to drive to the city and buy fuel there from other gas stations and bring it back to his station because they were holding it out on him.
Wow.
Right. So that's definitely been something that's going on.
Yeah. But one last thing, and then I'll let you go because I know you probably got your Easter things going. Is there any way you could ship me a Toyota Land Cruiser? I just a joke, Cleo. They don't allow those to be sold here in America, and I want one of those diesel Toyota Land Cruisers. Yeah, can you believe that?
Whoa. Why? How do you don't have Land Cruisers there?
No, they don't let us buy the good stuff, bro. They don't let us buy the good, like the Hilux. Like they don't let us have those either.
You don't get the whoa.
There's
I've lived in America and I didn't know this.
Yeah.
Why? What?
There's a law.
Why not?
They passed a law. The big Dodge and Ram and all those guys passed a law some stupid law that kept those smaller imports and those kind of Toyotas out of America, if you can believe that. And so everybody is
I
salivating
can't
over.
believe that. Those are super common vehicles.
And they're
here.
good. They're
like,
great vehicles. Yeah.
they're super reliable. They'll get you through everything.
100% right. Shout out to Katie Did. I saw her jump in the chat. But no, you're 100% right. And I've been wanting one of those for so long. And like, I think President Trump he did an executive order that he might start to allow the smaller Hilux into America, the Champ. I think, I don't know when, maybe halfway through the year or something like that. But
I hope so. Well, speaking of Trump, just up from us in the Gold Coast, we got a whole bunch of people that are throwing a tizzy because Trump's bought a big block of land that has like a vampire themed cafe on it. So right now we have a bunch of poser goths rioting and outraged that Trump's going to knock it all down and build a fucking tower there. Everyone's throwing a tantrum about it. I'm like, well, he bought the fucking place. He can do what he wants with it.
In
Australia? Go put your fucking vampire. Yeah, go build your fucking vampire fucking restaurant somewhere else. I want Trump here.
That's crazy.
I think that he's looking to do some negotiations because, so what happened was with the war, a whole bunch of people were like, a bunch of our politicians, because they're like super fucking lefty, were like, hey, we're not going to go join the war effort, even though we've got a fucking alliance that goes back to World War II, where we fucking, someone steps on our toe, you guys show up. Someone steps on your toe, we show up.
Right.
As far as I'm concerned, that's how it should fucking be, right?
Right.
We're fighting for freedom here. But like a bunch of people were like, oh, we don't want to go. And they didn't just send the forces they were meant to and all this other fucking bullshit. So Trump got pissed, rightfully so, in my opinion, in this instance, because, but the Australians were like, well, no one discussed anything with us before you declared this war. We were not even in the loop. We found out on social media and television, like, the common folk. So they were pissed about that. But so following that, Trump started buying land here just recently, that's how recent as with the war happened. So up in the Gold Coast, he's putting in that new tower.
I didn't know
and
that.
Some other stuff.
That's
so
crazy.
I think that he is looking to put influence, trying to get a bit more influence over here.
How does Australia feel about that, the Middle East war thing that's going on right now?
People don't like it,
yeah,
man.
I'm going to say, we don't like it here in America either.
Yeah.
Shout out to FOMO in the chat.
I'm just like, war is war and it sucks, you know what I mean? But people have been killing each other over whether a bit of land is 1 inch too close to the left or right, since the dawn of time, we can't avoid it.
Yeah.
There's always going to be stupid fucking reasons for war.
Yeah.
But mostly the politicians are got to be up their ass on the news about the fact that we were not consulted or talked to or anything like that before, stuff was.
I completely agree. We same thing here in America. We got a Ko-Fi real quick from Johnny Rocket. He says, check out Ministry of the Dude weeknights, 8 p.m. Eastern time, $10. Thanks, Johnny. Clap to you. I hope you did a good job on the Dick Show. Hope you had a good time doing that. That's the writer of SUPERKILLERs right there, people. Writer of SUPERKILLERs right there. But go on, Liam.
I've really enjoyed talking to you, Ray.
Yeah,
I really like streaming with you. You're a good one.
You're welcome anytime to hop on. Right now I stream on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. And whenever
if you get yelled at for having me on, I apologize. But my daughter just woke up.
Yeah.
So
happy Easter to you, buddy. Thanks for popping on, and give a hug to the fam, and have a great Easter. Okay.
Will do. And it was great meeting you, James. You have a good one.
Yeah.
Man.
Take care. Yeah. I don't usually like Aussies, but you're all right, son. Have a good Easter.
You'll hate me in a month. Okay.
Okay. Give it a month. That's what.
Take it easy, bro.
That's what Red Bar says. Give it a month. Well, James, that was fun. That was unexpected. Enjoyed having him on.
I wanted to do my Anthony Albanese impression, but he wouldn't shut the fuck up, would he? It's like I wanted to go Anthony Albanese. I wanted to ask why did your Prime Minister talk like that? He's fucking Italian. What are you doing?
Well, he probably doesn't like his
let
Prime
Liam
Minister
have his
either.
chat, man. I don't feel one way. Liam seems all right to me. I don't give a fuck. People want to give us shit because he came on. I don't care. Fuck it. Who gives a shit?
Hey, bro, we get shit for anything, right? You get shit. I get DMs all the time. I got people doing pictures. You get people doing pictures of your stuff, your family.
People hate on me because I'm charismatic and good looking. Well, get fucking used to it because I ain't going anywhere, bro.
That's right. Well, I can tell you one thing. They can't hate on you for bad audio anymore. You got a good microphone now, but Let me just go ahead and jump in the chat. Oh, we got Dickie the Post says, Liam, give a little review to Super Killer. Check out that campaign. Let me pull it right back up real quick. I got the campaign right here. Give a little look go on Super Killers. Okay, guys, it's Super Killers with an S. There it is right there. Let me just refresh this. We got 5 backers already, so we're pretty stoked about that. Let's fucking go. All right. I'm excited. It's already a big win just rolling this out. Having a good time doing this, so I'm pumped about that. Let me go ahead and go back to the Zoom chat. All right, so we got that going on. Pumped about that. You guys go follow, go back Super Killers. I'm going to drop that in the chat one more time, and then I'm going to jump through the chat, and we're going to say adieu. We ran a little bit long today, but hey, I wanted to because Liam wanted to jump on, and hell yeah, we'll have him on. We'll have a chit chat, and we'll have a good time doing that. So that's what it's about. So James, be thinking about your final thoughts. We're going to wrap it up in a second. I'm going to jump down here in the chat. Pat says, thanks, Liam. Appreciate you coming on 100%. FOMO says, they hate hot people out here. It's true. Bro, you get a lot of hate about hot people do. I'm not going to lie, bro. I am not going to lie. I've had bros that were my bros. Then they introduced me to their girlfriend and all of a sudden the friendship's over with, bro. Friendship is over with. Draw Zombie says, happy Easter, Liam, 100%. FOMO says, hi, Yeti, what's going on? King Yeti says, I want a 2023 4Runner Anniversary Edition so fucking bad, bro. I am telling you the truth. I'm in the market right now to get myself either a 4Runner or a Tacoma, but I kind of been holding off because I want to see what's happening with these Hiluxes coming in, the Champ. But I really want a Land Cruiser. I really want one of those Toyota Land Cruisers. That's what I want, like, you know, with the old 90s and all that kind of stuff, with none of the digitals in it. Keep the digitals out of it. I don't want no computer in my shit, bro. Oni says you could get a 2000 Toyota Land Cruiser, LOL. Well, maybe I'll check that out, Oni. How about that? What do you think about that? Dickie the Post says, get Liam to rate the campaign. Liam, check it out. Give me a rating on the campaign, bro. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff I could do better. Super Killers. Go check it out. Fund My Comics Super Killers. / Super Killers. On the John says the original read the view was hotter. A rear end view, I think is what he's saying, was hotter when I cut and pasted us making out at Clipiverse. I don't know what they're talking about making out, James, but thanks everybody.
Yeah, that fucking Rear Admiral joke went down like a lead balloon, didn't it? Fucking hell, man.
I know.
Aussie humour's gone to shit, mate. I tell you.
I thought it was hilarious.
Anthony Albanese has turned the Aussie man into a queer. I'm not saying Liam is, obviously not. He's a family man, but I tell you, Aussie humour used to be bawdy and great.
Yes.
Now it's like fucking all vampire. What's he talking about? Fucking vampire clubs?
I don't know.
It's like, holy fuck.
100%. King Yeti in the chat says, don't get a brand new Toyota Tacoma or 4Runner. 100% agree with you on that. I've done my research. You got to get them before 2018. Also, don't get them with the bullshit computers in them. Also, I know you said twin turbo 4 bangers, but don't get the turbo, bro. Try to get a V6 or a V8. The turbo puts additional stress on the engine, reduces the longevity, cuts it off by about 100,000 miles. I've been researching this shit, talking to different people and whatnot. But King Yeti, if you got any tips or if you know of one for sale, just hit me up, bro. Drop me some info. James, we've had quite an eventful stream today. We had a good time. It flew by. We got our...
yeah, the chat was lively. Old Coupe de Jour gave us a bit of the old, didn't he? I enjoyed it, man. Yeah, I enjoyed the interaction. I enjoyed the bands.
Yeah,
it's good.
Thanks, Coupe, for coming by, giving us a little bit of like, what would you call it? The business end right there. We got a little bit of the business end.
Antagonistic. Yeah, it's all the fun of the fair, though. It's good. I enjoy the bands. You know what I mean? It's good stuff. Yeah. And then Liam come on.
That was fun.
I don't know why they call him Liam. His name's fucking Liam. Liam came on, you know, and it's... nice to meet my Antipodean cousin.
That's right. That's right.
He's going to get a bit of good shine and a bit of good rub because we're the cool kids. We're the up and comers.
That's right.
He's getting in on the ground floor so we can. He's not a clout chaser, so he's getting in on the ground floor.
That's right. So everybody go follow James Domenico Grabbin on X, James Domenico Grabbin 81 on YouTube. He drops shorts all the time about what's going on over in England and in Europe. Very informative. He also, I saw you doing some food reviews, James. That
got me in the shit. I just do a Greg's Yum Yum review and everyone's got buy local. Mate, look at my videos. I've done loads of local patisseries and fucking local bars and shit. Fucking hell. Yeah. I just went to Greg's to try it out to do a bit of content. But no, Embed's really good. I like him. Yeah. Good salt.
Good fella. Yeah, do more of that food content. As you know, I love food. I'm going to do more of it. I'm going to do more cooking and stuff like that. I'm pumped about that. So go follow James over there. King Yeti, before we bounce out of here, he says 2023 theme cutoff for Forerunner 2025. If cutoff for RAV4 2022, the cutoff for Highlander. Oh, so buy before 2023 for the Forerunner, buy before 2025 for the RAV4, buy before the 2022 for the Highlander. Good to know. I appreciate that. The not them. Okay. Pat says a great stream, lots of fun as always. Yeah, we always try to have some fun. We try to talk about relevant topics, try to, give you a little bit of empowerment because I need all the empowerment I can get out there. On the John says, U.S. Commonwealth bruvs got to stick together. Yeah, on the John's Canadian. So yeah, 100%. Got to keep the Canada, England, and Australia.
Well, we're the Five Eyes crew, aren't we?
The Five Eyes crew.
We're all in Five Eyes, yeah.
100%. Thanks, everybody, for coming out and hanging out with us. Thanks, everybody in the chat. I hope you guys have a fantastic Easter. James, I hope you have a wonderful Easter. Post some pictures.
Yeah, everyone have a great Easter with your friends and family. And don't forget, back Superkillers. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, back Superkillers. Let's fucking go. Thanks, everybody. We're out of here. Have a great Easter. Bye.